Hello, everyone. Welcome to session 41 of Watch for Falling Meteors as the Unknowables continue their trek through the Great Wastes west of the known world. Go ahead and let Gamelon give a recap of the last session, and then we'll get started.
Alrighty, so we had just completed our fight with the Wyvern and done a little poison negation and raft repair, and we're floating down the river. We came across a collection of friendly troops, a Sergeant Danver and a Sergeant Oliver. After doing a little reconnoitering and figuring out who they were, we came walking around the corner, glowing like daylight, and impressed them unduly with our ways. Said a few prayers for them, got them some food and water, did some mending on their armor, made ourselves generally useful. So we helped them out a little bit. We eventually parted ways. As we were heading down the river, we came across some giant crabs and crocodiles, which met with a quickly dispatched fate and got ourselves some crocodile skin.
Yeah.
A couple of trophies, nice things to go along with the ride. And as we proceeded a little farther down the line, some of those sharp eyes on our group managed to pick out an enemy encampment. We had some kind of intel they might be up out that way. That's where one of the other crossings were. After our scouts kind of snuck up there and specced them out, figured out who they were, they snuck back towards us, but attracted as they snuck back the attention of some were tigers, whom we began to brawl with. After basically disabling them, I cured one, and the other one sort of gave up the fight and agreed to go along with us in exchange for abandoning their loyalties to the master and being sent back to Lord Jadarin. We sent him a message to the lake that his son was coming back and that we might be able to intercept him for a little while he was in town, and also that we were sending some gifts his way to look after. And that's kind of where we ended up.
Thank you very much. Perfect. And go ahead and take your inspiration, and we'll pick up from there.
What time of day is it?
They left in the morning, so it's early, just after dawn. Sun's
Gotcha.
up. It's not quite super hot yet. It gets, like any high desert, it gets quite chilly at night, and then it gets pretty hot in the evening and during the day. It gets up to about 100 degrees in this area, and supposedly it's the more temperate area of the Great Waste.
I like to highlight we're going to pass without trace as we leave.
Yes, that's right. Okay, now you'll need to blow a spell slot for that. Okay.
How long does Pass Without Trace last?
Okay.
Let's see. Up to 1 hour.
Yeah, so for the next hour, you'll be virtually untraceable. I was going to click on something, and now I can't remember what I was going to click on. I feel like it was important, too. I was like, I got to make sure I do that. But I'm drawing a blank.
Oh, I've got to do my morning rituals of the water breathing and water walking.
Okay. I remembered what I needed to do. Okay. So, you are still covering about 24 miles a day at your current travel rate. You're able to move at full speed as you cross the terrain, even though you're being stealthy, just because of the massive advantage you have. So it doesn't actually slow you down at all for the day. The last reference they had from the map was from what was her name? Titania? I have to scroll down. Tanita. Sorry, Tanita and Damius was that if you just head straight northwest, you'll reach the swamp, and you can actually make out the edges of the swamp in the distance. because the terrain here, once you get away from the river, it's lots of reeds, lots of small scrub trees, nothing terribly tall, and you can see up ahead where the swamps are, there's kind of a haze of sunlight off the canopy, and it's much taller trees in the distance. Even from here, you can see the trees are um, kind of bleached out and light colored and very thick, very, very thick. And there's kind of a fog resting over the area, which is probably due to condensate, like, the water being hit by the strong sunlight. So, what's the plan?
To the swamp.
Okay. So, you spend the next day traveling to reach the salt swamp. And a quick second here.
What's the distance on each of the
So each one of these
hexagons?
hexes is 24 miles. It's roughly how far you travel in a day without doing a forced march. Okay. The day passes uneventfully. As you are...
Did I assume we got a long rest last night?
Yeah, you did. I can long rest everybody if I forgot to.
Oh, I thought
Whoops.
we were long
Just
rested
stopped in the
already.
menu.
I've got 3 spell slots expended, so
Oh,
Use
okay.
3 sendings.
Yeah, do I get my
that's
second
right.
spell slot
You'll actually...
back?
Yeah, your spell slot... It should have come back when I long rested the party.
Mm,
Do I need to say I'm going to do the rituals the next morning?
No. So, you... The day passes not without event, but without anything dangerous happening. You don't meet anything notable. You do come across some natural wildlife, and as you can see, the swamp up ahead. It's the top of the swamp is bristling light, with it almost has a constant like steam rising off of it as water evaporates from the harsh sunlight. Um, it's a thick white cloud coming up out of the swamp. Um, the clouds are very heavy that are rising up out of it. And the trees are packed very densely. You can already, even as you're getting closer, the ground is getting actually quite thick and luscious here. The ground seems to be very fertile as you're approaching. But as you get towards the end of the day's travel and start looking for a place to make camp, you already can see the ground is starting to get more coarse and the plants tougher, and the water, there's already like the water table is definitely higher here, and the ground's getting closer to the water table, and so there's even spots of mucky ground here. The air has a smell of salt to it, and the river itself, by the way, was technically fresh water, but not great to drink. It still had kind of a salty ting to it, and this is where the water comes from, is the salt swamp, which is fed by underground sources, because the area beyond the salt swamp is just a barren wasteland. So, you arrive at camp, set up, light a fire. I don't know if any of you have means of preparing food and water.
I do.
Okay, because as you get closer to the... Oh, that's right, you made a bunch of food. As you get closer to the salt swamp, preparing food and water is going to be more difficult. Finding sources of food and water is definitely more difficult. Do good berries cover food, or do they cover food and water?
oh boy.
I don't
Let me
remember.
check.
I think it just says a meal.
I think it's beyond a meal. I think it's just what you need for the day to eat.
Oh, yeah,
You don't
enough
need to
nourishment to
drink.
sustain a creature for a day. Okay, yeah, so I think it would cover water as well.
Oh, wow.
So, unless you're a hobbit, and then you need 2 of them. So,
Really?
So, yeah, from the movie, them the elf bread, and he's like, 1 bite will last you all day, and he's like, I already had 2 of them. So
Oh, okay. I don't remember that.
he's like, I already ate 2 of those things.
The movies
So-
are so boring.
I didn't think the first ones were boring. They were good. All right. So, it's evening, and you're outside the swamp. You hear quite a bit of wildlife within the swamp itself. It's not quiet. Definitely more
Well,
activity than you've heard everywhere else. Outside the swamps, just along the river, you just heard bugs mostly.
we have a tiny hut, so it's cool.
Okay. Morning arrives without incident. The night is calm. Um, and you press on towards the swamp the next day. I'm going to need a survival check. Navigating the swamp is a little harder, so we'll need someone who's navigating because you can't see, there aren't any landmarks. As you get into the swamp itself, it's basically just land poking in and out of the water. The water varies from being 1 to 2 feet deep to as deep as 10 feet. It's usually not too hard to tell where the water's deep because the water is not very dark. It's murky, but it's just very salty and clouded. But you can tell when the water's deeper. And
You want
unless it's disturbed, the silt isn't bad.
We just go right over the top, so it's cool.
you want that in the tower or in the?
Oh yeah, you're walking across the top.
One of
In the tower, please. Whoever's going to roll survival.
Wouldn't Stefan be our survival guy?
one of my skills is survival.
What's
Just
your
throwing that
bonus?
out there.
Now swampland is not one of your favored terrains, but I'm pretty sure you have a decent survival. I don't know what your bonus is.
It's one of my skills too. I get a +7.
Oh wow.
Okay.
And you beat that Stefan.
No, I got +5.
Okay.
And wisdom. Let's see, what's my
Surviving.
He's a cleric. He's got stupid high wisdom. It's not your fault.
So, not too hard to stay on track. Stefan, as you are traveling, navigating the swamp's pretty clear, pretty simple. Between the two of you are doing fine. Gamlon's already picked out a pretty solid path, and you've managed to spot a few things that seem like they could be landmarks, and you're able to keep your direction northwest, like something to keep checking on as you travel. So you stay true to your direction. But Stefan, as you're traveling, you start catching signs that alarm you.
Uh-oh.
So, as you get deeper into the swamp, you travel for the better part of a day. I'm going to go ahead and move you on to the next hex here. Traveling for the better part of a day inside the swamps, you notice that the trees are getting more and more twisted and almost mutated. They have, for a lack of a better term, fungus growing in them that looks like tumors. There's the salty tang in the air has shifted to be bitter, almost like a corroded smell, like something eroding away. You a couple times even find a spot where, like, the ground, instead of just being like a soft marsh, is like a clinging, almost tarry muck that you steer people clear of. I need you to make
Does
a
this
nature
remind
check.
me
I need
of
you to make
anything?
maybe.
Alright.
I need you to make a nature check with advantage.
Nature.
Reminds me of that time we all got TPK'd in the swamp.
Oh boy. This
The save
Nature
versus
is
poison or
tower.
die.
This is in the tower, yes. So just click advantage and then drop it in the tower.
This is why Jason
Okay.
was looking up the dragon turtle.
So,
Dragon turtle.
looking it up. No, I was putting the dragon turtle in for the rules cyclopedia. So, yeah, it does remind you of something. One of the things you learned when you were studying with the sergeant, your mentor, in addition to teaching you how to spot goblin and orc sign, he had shown you many different locales that were the realm of dragons.
Oh
And
boy.
you are recognizing signs that you are entering into lands that are controlled or occupied by a black dragon. You've seen this kind of corruption on trees, the tumors, the boils of tarish mud, literal spots where the water is acidic and dangerous to the touch. Not from the dragon specifically, like it did something, but just when an old and powerful dragon lives in an area, the land starts to corrupt. It's the magical nature of them. They change the environment around them. And it seems like the hex to the north and northwest of you are the territory of dragons, of a black dragon.
I'm going to share this information. Seems like there's a black dragon, boys. Just saying.
I would like
We
to
wanna
not go in
continue
that
on our
direction.
Same path. Yeah. I mean, we should alter our
Territory where
travel
for
plans.
us?
Like, we're looking for scorpions, not dragons.
So this one and this one.
Yeah, we need to steer clear of the black dragons. If I
So
remember
maybe
anything.
we should go
West,
into
west.
this one. Golly.
Maybe we can just go southwest. Or...
Yeah.
Where are we supposed to find a black dragon?
No.
I mean, I could
oh,
talk to him. Maybe I could talk him
Go that
down. I
one.
doubt it.
Scorpions were guarding what we seek, and Malakaz in the swamp.
Yeah, Malakaz. That sounds like a black dragon name.
I don't know black dragon names. I don't know if I want to fuck with black dragon though.
Although I speak dragon, my charisma is very low.
Send the wizard killer in first.
You could be like, hey,
That's right.
What's that?
I'm the appetizer. Gamelon will be a pleasant turtle soup for you, and you can have the cat for dessert.
That's my terrible dessert. Hairball. It's awful.
Turbo. Well,
Southwest.
I think we should just go right around that business.
do I have his? No, not on this character.
As a reminder, your goal is to make it to the crossroads.
Yeah.
Did you say we should go
Yes.
northeast?
Your goal, so north, basically due north and northwest are where the Stefan feels like that's where the dragon territory has been.
So wait, which way says 1, 2?
The
So
southwest.
this way.
would be more toward the direction we need
I
to go.
cannot
We're going
draw to
east.
save my life.
Either way is 6
Drawing.
or so hexes.
Also, Stefan is unable to tell if, like, he can tell that there's a dragon signs getting stronger, like more and more signs and of dragon corruption north and northwest. He can't tell beyond those hexes. Like, he can't tell you if west or east of those is where the territory ends. So you're basically faced with going southwest, northeast, or just cutting across it and taking your chances.
I think maybe northeast, because that'll get us back to our general direction, right?
Yeah, whichever.
Yeah, we can jump.
We have to
northeast.
deviate further.
That would be closer to the edge of the swamp.
Mhm.
How much area do you think a dragon would corrupt? That's like 48 miles.
I mean, I could do another pass without trace.
I
That
mean, I
only
would let
gives
you
us
make
an
a. I'd
hour.
let Stefan make
I
a
wouldn't worry
nature
about
check to answer that question.
Let's go here.
You can make a nature check with advantage as it's retaining to dragons. To answer that question for Brian.
Mhm.
Actually, you know what? I'm feeling good. I'll let you go off your original nature check. It was pretty solid.
Mm.
So typically, it depends on the age of a dragon as to how much land it would corrupt around it. But to corrupt the amount of land before you already, like, because he can see that going either of those directions, the swamp's only getting denser, literal pools of acid, the trees just gnarled, almost alien nightmare looking things, is an old dragon. Like, that's a lot of territory for a dragon to
Doesn't
cover.
look good, boys.
So
Fine.
So
And
is
then
like
we
the
go around.
dragon what the swamp is formed around?
Perhaps.
not something that would be clear to Stefan. he would know enough about black dragons to know that it's a symbiotic relationship. When a black dragon moves into a swamp, it's kind of a chicken or egg thing. Did the swamp corrupt around the dragon, or did the dragon corrupt the swamp? It's kind of all grows together.
Well, the egg came first. We know that. I just don't know if the dragon is the chicken or the egg in this
Yeah.
case. Yeah, I'm good with going northeast and going around it. I don't want to go through it.
Me
Okay.
either.
Sometimes there's a sign, "Here there be dragons." This seems like one of those signs to me.
Yeah. I mean, you need a ranger to read it, but yeah, the sign's there. So what I need, let me make another roll here real quick. Perfect. Okay, so what I need is for everyone to make a wisdom saving throw for the morning. I think wisdom. Hold on, it might not be wisdom.
For the morning.
With advantage.
No. And actually, a charisma saving throw.
Oh no.
Oh, cool. What ends?
Oh no.
All right, 20.
Mine's -1. Oh man. Come on. Oh boy.
We got a 20, an 11, an 18, and 11. Who's left? Gamelon?
He said he was be right back.
Okay, I'm gonna roll Gamelon's for him.
He was a burb.
Boop, boop. Here we go. Charisma save.
Let's see if your rolls stay hot for days that the player's gone. What do you get?
Oops. He got a 5.
He'll be
Couldn't even
fine.
see it.
He'll be fine.
So
I don't think
He'll
you'll
be
be fine. Don't worry, we'll get the Revivify scroll.
let's see, I need a. Do I have a preset for it? I don't think I do. Let's tend to make one.
Can I use my legendary resistance?
He also drew a big ass circle on the map.
Gamelon. There we go.
That was Jason's circle?
I think Neil made it.
Neil made it.
Neil likes drawing circles.
I mean,
I don't blame him. They're fun. They're
he doesn't want to
symmetrical.
be a square.
That's right.
I don't remember the if that's the syntax for exhaustion. FG wiki effects
It says he has exhaustion.
exhaustion. Yeah, that's what I put. I can't remember if that's the way you're supposed to put it. Exhaustion effects. Here we go. Fantasy Grounds wiki. I can't remember if it's colon or if it's parentheses. So I'm just checking real quick here.
Thought I would get rid of the circle by closing the map and double clicking on my icon, but it just brought up the river map.
It's exhaustion with a colon in the number. Yep. So he's exhaustion 1 right now. At exhaustion 1 or 2, it's skill checks. At 3 or 4, it's disadvantage attack as well.
If you click
So-
on the effects tab, it has exhaustion in there.
It did? I didn't see it.
It's on the right side under dodge.
Oh yeah, I just built it. That's the effect I said I needed to build.
Oh, okay.
So I just built it, but
Gotcha.
I don't know if I add it again, will it change it to 2?
Does he have double exhaustion?
No, but I'm curious what would happen if I don't. No, it just gives it to him again. So I would have to manually modify it to go higher. Okay. And because it was Stefan's turn, it says Stefan gave him exhaustion. So let's make it not come from
In
Stefan.
round 2.
Be like, what the fuck, dude?
How do you get exhaustion from a charisma check?
Calm down.
I guess we're gonna find out.
Yes, you are. Okay, so
I'll just roll initiative now.
no initiative. So as you're continuing to travel, Um, the for the next day, as you're traveling in the swamp, everyone had unsettling dreams. All of you remember having nightmares throughout the night, except for Karnan, who was actually trancing. But even during your trance, you had periods where you could not settle into a meditative trance. You managed to push through it, but everyone's mind was wandering, and it was just like a feeling of impending doom. However, none of you can remember it at all.
You
But
don't remember the sense of impending doom?
no, you remember. I'm sorry. You remember the sense of impending doom. You don't remember what you were dreaming about. You just remember you all had nightmares and unsettling dreams, but you can't remember what the dreams were. Gamelon was severely affected by it and did not get any rest. He's unable to recover spells. I mean, he still has his current spell slots, but he's unable to regain any he had cast, and he is suffering from a level of exhaustion because he just couldn't get any rest.
Does
However-
Stefan have any kind of feeling that this is something black dragons do?
No. No, not something you're familiar with. But you're not an expert on well, you are an expert on dragons. No, not to your knowledge. What you do recognize, though, as you're traveling, is the square northwest of you is safe. That is not dragon territory. It is the hex right here. That is the one that is the dragon's territory.
You share that again? I'm sorry, I closed out my map thinking I'd
sure.
get rid of the circle, and it takes me to the river.
Boop. There you go.
Thank
Get
you.
rid of it. Pointer. Get rid of this pointer. There we go.
Let's go that way.
Of course, it didn't.
That's
close.
where the
let's
dragon
not go
is.
that way.
Or let's not go that way. Let's avoid that way.
Yeah, that's
we don't like
that's
that
where I
way.
said the dragon is. Holy shit.
Yeah,
Lay
Well,
off
it
the
go
was
that way.
nice knowing you, Stefan.
That's right. You go that way. Tell us what you see.
Let's work on putting a distance between us and the swamp. It looks like we're in it for 2 more days.
I mean, should we cut through the swamp though, or should we go
Anyway we go. You mean go
like
south?
go outside the swamp, and then maybe we'll get away from these dreams?
Well, 1, 2.
The quickest
We're
way
out
to
in
the edge
2
of the
days.
swamp is northwest. You'd be skirting the Black Dragon's hex, but
Let's see,
it
from
might
here
be a
it's
little tiny
1,
dragon. You don't know.
2, 3, 4. It looks like
Tiny
it's 5
old
days
dragon.
to the crossroads.
48
Oh,
miles.
Neil, are you back?
I'm back. Yeah, I heard I got
Okay.
exhausted.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, I just want to make sure you heard. You
He's
also were
exhausted.
unable
Take a
to
nap.
change your spells or anything. So,
So it's 5 days if we spend the next 2 days in the swamp. It's 9 days if we go south west and then skirt
Southeast?
the swamp. Southeast and skirt the swamp.
I mean, black dragons do suck.
Well, they bite.
And swipe, I would imagine.
The other option is we could just go northeast, deal one more day on sort of the edge of the swamp, and then go out of the swamp.
Yeah, that cuts a
I
day
don't-
off. That would be 8 days. 1,
don't
2,
know.
3, 4. So 5 days or 8 days.
How are you feeling with your exhaustion?
Exhausted.
Do turtles have bags under their eyes? How does that work?
It might
he
be
just sags into his
advantageous for us
shell. He just doesn't push all the way out of his shell right now.
Might be a good idea to get him unexhausted.
He would need a long rest without interruption.
And that
Maybe easier outside the
those
swamp.
dream things even happen through the hut?
Yeah, they did. That's a good question, but yes, they did.
Do you have any, well, I mean, he's got
Um,
greater restoration, but
with
with
one
lesser
level of
restoration,
exhaustion, he has disadvantage on ability checks. If he gets a second level, his speed will be halved.
at what point does he go disadvantage in combat?
3
2
levels of
levels or 3
exhaustion.
levels.
Oh,
That's disadvantage
could
on
get-
attack rolls and saving throws. At 4 levels of exhaustion, your hit points are halved. At 5 levels, your speed is 0, and at 6
At 6
levels,
you
you're
die.
dead.
So wait, Jason, I just want to make sure. It says spells and other magical effects can't extend through the dome or be cast through it.
Yep.
Okay. Well, fuck.
Well, if we took the most expeditious route, we would be in the swamp 2 more days. And I'm assuming that this goes away when we exit the swamp.
What happens at exhaustion level 2? Can he walk?
Yeah, his speed is half though. So you guys should be.
so
You
then it
guys
would
are
be
moving.
like 4 days.
You guys would take longer to get through the swamp. That is correct.
Oh, okay.
Thinking either east or
Stefan's
southeast.
definitely feeling like we need to avoid the dragon.
So we're avoiding the dragon.
Yeah,
but I
we're
don't-
avoiding the dragon. It's a matter of, do we cut through the swamp and get there in 5 days, or do we just flat out leave the swamp and get there in 9?
And the
We
other
might
thing
not
that
get
we're
there in 5
assuming,
days.
the other
if he
thing that we're
continues to-
assuming is that this is related to the swamp and not some bigger effect.
If he continues to get more exhausted, then we will all slow down. It may be 9 days inside the swamp as well.
Yep, I'm convinced then. Let's go here.
Okay.
That would be
Go
my
north.
thought.
Yeah.
So, traveling through the swamp each day has been arduous, but it feels more oppressive, more clinging. The fog is thicker. It's hotter. It might just be the fact that maybe it's just a hotter day out today, but the visibility is down to sometimes less than 100 feet as the rising fog coming off of the salt water comes up, and it almost feels like it's just burrowing into your skin. The stinging feel of the swamp. You're mostly just accompanied by the squishing of your boots and cracking of the occasional reeds that you're having to push through this swamp. The reeds are getting thicker. The trees are just more twisted. They have more bark on them. Most of the trees have had less bark. You start seeing fish, big, doughy, white and gray fish just below the surface of the water sometimes.
Gross.
Sometimes they have 3 eyes. Sometimes they have 2 fins on one side. They just look perverted and warped. The sky's gray. The canopy's still blocked over. And you haven't quite reached the edge of the swamp. You still can't see an end to it by the end of the day, as the sun, just the little bits of it that are filtering through the trees, starts to disappear and leave you just sitting in grayness. As you're walking, deciding where you're trying to find like a larger piece of land to set up the hut, you notice in a large pool a hut standing. It's on 4 stilts that are keeping it about a foot above the water level. There's a
Interesting.
rickety wooden catwalk leading from the land that's about 20 feet long that just extends out on 2 poles halfway through. The boards aren't well fit, just like they've just been haphazardly nailed together. And it leads into just a large wooden hut shaped almost like a yurt with just a domed roof with a hole for a chimney. There's no smoke, no light, no sign of life. There's almost like seems like a film in the air just hanging off of it. Just waiting.
I'm gonna sneak up and go look in the hut.
I want to do detect magic and sneak up.
Okay. I need stealth checks from both of you, please. This does involve being quiet, Brian. I assume that's
Yeah.
something that would matter for you. with those boots.
It does.
I'd like to sneak around the outside.
Okay. I need a stealth check from you too then. Okay. What are Karnan and Gamelon doing in the meantime?
Watching this folly unfold from the tree.
Okay.
I'm
This is
hang
going to be
out with-
awesome.
Shut up
I'm gonna
and
hang out
take a
with
nap.
Gamelon,
Okay.
should he?
You're cranky when you don't rest well.
All right. Yeah, my fantasy grounds froze there for a second. It looked like Stefan rolled a 1, but then it unfroze and the die kept moving. That's funny. Okay. So, Stefan, you're working your way kind of around the water to where you can get behind the hut and look back there. That's where you're trying to get to, correct? Okay.
Yep, I want to see what's going on the outside.
Sure. So you're patrolling around the outside to see if you can spot anything of worth. Nace, as you sneak up, you cast Detect Magic first. It lasts, what, 10 minutes?
Yeah, I can cast
Yeah.
it.
Or yours is at will anyway. That's right. It's not even a ritual. So as you sneak up, the general area as a whole gives off an aura of magic. The water, the hut, the trees, everything around here just gives a faint aura. It's not strong. Just a faint aura of magic. Just kind of permeates everything. The aura is not really of one specific school. It's a combination of conjuration, transmutation, evocation, and illusion. Just all kinds of magic in the area, but it's just everything. Nothing's like glowing, like, oh, bright. You just feel this place is not natural. Weedall. So as you get to the catwalk, if like you easily are able to sneak up, stick to the clinging shadows, use the fog, move with the fog to where your silhouette is just too hard to make out. But once you get to the catwalk, you really only have one option if you want to sneak in. Two options. One would be to go across the catwalk. The other one, if you want to try and stay out of sight, you would need to get under the catwalk and like pull yourself under it, which also means you would need to get wet.
Bro, swamp water.
Is the chimney an open chimney? Can I sneak up onto the roof and peer down the chimney? Is it a chimney or is it a hole in the roof? Because you said it's like a yurt.
It's like a yurt, so just a hole in the roof. Like the roof is cone shaped and kind of meets at the top. You can see it's boards, but they all kind of just meet up at the top. They kind of have a little spiral. They must be on some sort of supported ring or ribs, and it's just a hole at the top. There's not like a big chimney coming out.
Okay.
That would be fine, but getting across the catwalk, you have nothing to hide behind. So your stealth would be being quiet, but like you're not invisible. Let's make that clear. You have no way to hide your silhouette or anything. All you can do is stay low and move quietly, but you would be exposed as you cross the catwalk.
Do
Are there
wispy
any-
fog armor.
Yeah. Are there any windows?
Yes, actually, there are 3, one on either side of the hut. Stefan, as you're coming around the back side now, you can actually see the last window. They're just spaced evenly around the hut, like 2, one to either side of the door, and one on the far side. From what you can see on that end, Stefan, that appears to be empty. There's no drapes. You can't see any furnishings through the windows, and the area behind it is just more of this pond. You can't find anything noteworthy that makes you feel like, oh, there's something special here.
Okay, well, I'm going to try to go to one of the windows, understanding that I will be slightly exposed on the catwalk.
Okay. You zip across the catwalk. You make no noise. You bound across the catwalk and kind of get around to the edge where you're not standing in the doorway, and because of your claws, you're able to hold onto the sides of the hut easily, and you peek in. Empty room. It's bare. A little dusty, but that's it.
Okay, I'm going to go back to where Karnan and Gamelon are, and
Okay.
quietly, and just tell them that it appears to be empty.
How about Nace and Stefan?
Do we know it's empty?
Does it appear?
I mean, you can see from the edge of the reed line, like the vegetation you're using to hide.
I mean, does
Like,
we
where you
don't
can
let us
see.
know?
Oh, I don't know.
If I pass close,
You
enough
would
to-
pass Nace. You're not going to pass Stefan. Stefan, you
Okay.
can see Weedall creep up and look in the window, and then make his move.
If he tells me it's empty, I'll go up and
Okay.
look at it with my detect magic and see if there's something in there.
Sure. Okay. It'll be 1 second. I gotta go put Renee to bed. I'll be right back.
Right.
And not to be a lawyer, but I said appears.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. Maybe it.
But he didn't have me roll a perception.
Words matter.
So
No, it's fine. Like, to you, it's empty.
Yeah.
You have way better perception than I do, along with everyone else, because mine is -1.
but you could pick the yurt up and move it.
I could
I
explode.
mean, that's what I do with one hand, but what do I do with the other?
I can throw fireballs at it until it explodes.
You have nothing memorized right now that can get rid of exhaustion.
I don't have any spells on my list that I know of right now. to
I
get
think
rid
it's
of
Greater
exhaustion.
Restoration to get rid of
Greater
exhaustion.
Restoration cannot get rid of exhaustion.
It can't?
You're not
Check
able to
those.
change your spells, but you have spells.
What about Lesser Restoration?
Greater Restoration afflicts, heals Charmed or Petrified, 1 curse, including attunement to a cursed magic item, and a reduction to 1 of the target's ability scores, or 1 effect reducing target hit point maximum. So I guess if I got to like 4 levels of exhaustion, I use Greater Restoration to cancel the effect reducing hit point maximum.
Mm.
But I mean, I don't have anything like Lesser Restoration doesn't do it either. That just does 4 other states that are not exhausted.
Well, if we can get out of this swamp, then we can hopefully get rid of the exhaustion. If the exhaustion is related to the swamp and not just some thing that we're being hexed with.
No, Greater Restoration does get rid of 1 level of exhaustion, but it's 100 gold for it.
No, it doesn't. I'm looking at the spell. Where does it say it gets rid of exhaustion?
You imbue a creature you touch with positive energy to undo a debilitating effect. You can reduce the target's exhaustion.
Oh, it does
by
say you can
1
reduce
or-
exhaustion. Okay, never mind. I can do that then. I have a free one of those every day.
Do you have the 100 gold piece diamond thing?
I don't need it because it comes from an artifact.
Oh, gotcha.
Damn it. I was looking for that. I just didn't read that part.
Cool.
That's a wicked frickin' spell.
It is. It's been very useful.
Like, I can't even cast a 5th level spell yet, but I can cast that because it comes from an artifact. Once per day. RP if nothing else.
We tried to exit the swamp and we're not allowed to. But maybe we found some shelter, which
Boo.
we don't need anyway because we've got the hut.
Black Dragon seems really bad.
Black dragon, especially an ancient one, would be bad.
Hmm.
You could just cripple one of the party and run off.
That's right. Whoever runs fastest wins.
My other character, I have a blade dancer with mobility, so he has a base of 40 movement. And when he's blade dancing, he has a base of 50 movement. So he goes a long
goes-
ways.
He goes far. Yeah, I had a monk that could move. That's 150, but my monk could move 120, and that's just insane. I don't think I ever went the full amount.
That's because you weren't doing it right.
My name is Speed.
I punch him, and I somehow went back in time, so I punch him last round too.
This blade dancer I built uses the shadow blade, so it's all psychic damage. It scales with level.
Yeah, psychic damage is awesome until it doesn't work at all.
Then I've got a regular scimitar.
Problem solved.
I'm thinking Rena may have wanted that story tonight.
What?
She probably wanted that story tonight.
Oh.
So yeah, I do have all my other spells now.
Right. Oh, sure. Yeah.
But I've only got
Psych.
Banishment and Wall of Fire and Guardian of Faith for 4th level, so they're all kind of one shots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if we're holed up in the hut, I got a fog and a web and a spike growth.
Spike
I
growth
can
would be
put
good
a
with Wall of
little
Fire.
hut inside the other hut.
Spike growth would be good with Wall of Fire because you could put the spike growth out and I'll just wall them, and if they don't move, they die. And if they move, they die.
Mhm.
That would be so funny.
Yeah.
Okay, I am back.
How was the story?
It was good. I love everything about you. As soon as I finished, she goes, "Good night, Dad." So get out of here. So
Did she flip you off on the way out?
no,
or-
she didn't flip me off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Threw a
Damn near.
shoe at him.
That's
She let
next
me know
week.
how uninterested
Yeah, it's
she
coming.
was. Okay. So, where were we?
You
You were heading back.
I was
No, you were
checking
going
the
into the hut
inside
to
with
look
detect
inside.
Magic. I
Um,
wasn't going in. I was going to peek through the window.
Sure. Okay. Well, you
Oh,
can't reach the window. You'd have to look in the door.
Well, how high is the
It's on
window?
stilts.
I thought there were 3 windows.
There are, but you can walk on water. Never mind. So remember the whole can't sneak along the catwalk thing? You could have run beside the catwalk. So forget it. I forgot you guys can walk on water. Because why would I remember that? Yeah, you
We've
can peek
only
in
been
the,
doing it the whole campaign.
Yeah, so you can peek right in the water, right in the window.
Okay.
Nothing unusual. It looks like a bare, unremarkable room.
Even with detect magic, there's nothing.
There's the general sense that this area is magical, but that's it.
And I don't see anything in there like of interest.
No, completely empty.
What's the radius of it or diameter?
It's about 20 feet across. So 10
I'll
feet
go
or
in.
10 foot diameter. Okay.
I'll
You
like
go ahead
wave them over and I'll go in.
Okay. So as you walk into the room,
I die. Rip.
no.
It was so fun. It was so fun.
You walk
Okay, I
into the
put a scroll
room.
for that.
It's quiet. And the boards creak a little. They seem old. Like this hut's been here a long time.
Does it say Baba Yaga on any of the stationery?
No. All right. So those of you who want move up to the hut.
In the hut, I'm gonna toss it like a thief.
Okay, there's literally nothing to toss. You check for loose boards. That's the only thing there is. There's no containers. There's not even a fire pit. There's a grate in the center of the room that's over a hole in the floor, about the same size as the one in the chimney. And from here, you can see, like looking through the hole, that there's actually a pair of stilts going into the water that support the center of the room.
Weedall's going to look at it, point to it, and say, "Wonderful."
Wunderbar.
So there's a grate where you could make a fire that would still be fed from underneath and not burn the place down. But otherwise, it's featureless. None of the boards are loose. No secret
Perhaps
compartments or hidden
We
doors.
camping here?
Perhaps I can scavenge some swampy wood for a fire.
I'll set up our hut.
It'd be possible to find dry wood. It'd be mostly finding dead branches. It would require a survival check to find wood that isn't already damp. Just because of the constant clinging fog in the area.
I'll
Maybe
go help
Steve
them.
better roll that one since I'm going to be at disadvantage, right?
Do we need a
Yeah,
fire?
you are still exhausted. No,
What
you
do I
don't
wanna roll
necessarily
here?
need a fire. It is
wait.
going to get cold. Yeah.
I can just hut us. We'll be comfy.
Oh, that's true.
I have greater restoration. I can heal 1 level of exhaustion.
Oh, that's handy. Are you going to blow your slot?
I am.
That's with the prayer bead, right?
That's with the prayer bead.
Okay, so there's no material component for that, so that's handy.
Oof.
Because Otherwise, it'd be 100 gold of diamond dust.
And
Yeah, I
then
say
I
we set
will.
up the hut in the hut.
Yeah,
then
I
after-
can just set up
oh.
the hut in here. We don't need a fire. It'll be comfy.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe
you-
I'm
oh, go
gonna
ahead.
stand in the corner farthest from the door and get some rope trick. Just wait, how long does this last? Let me see
Actually,
if this
then,
is worth it.
Maybe
I'm
I
a little
could.
apprehensive.
I think rope trick
Oh,
is
1
$8.
hour.
About 1 hour.
You have
Boo.
the crossbow.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I got
Remember,
that
the
too.
crossbow only works for 30 feet. That's
Third amp.
don't
Yeah,
forget.
well.
Slightly outside of the
So-
hut.
Maybe I could rig some simple like snare traps or something that would snap off. Would that be a survival rule, or would that be something else?
Oh,
It'd be
well, do
survival
you guys
if you
want an
set,
alarm?
like,
I could just set
traps
up
or
an
alarms.
alarm.
That's
for
true.
30
It's
feet.
probably as the ritual for an alarm.
I do.
And what does that do?
You set an alarm against unwanted intrusion. Choose a door, window, or area within the range that's no longer than a 20-foot cube. Till the spell ends, an alarm alerts you whenever a tiny or larger creature touches or enters the warded area. When you cast a spell, you can designate creatures that won't set off the alarm. You can also choose whether the alarm is
That's a
mental.
pretty small radius, though, right? It's 20-foot cube.
Yeah, I mean, I could just set up like the door or whatever of it.
I mean, Steve's already got a 30-foot radius.
Right.
Yeah, I still want to try to rig some traps
Now,
outside.
to be clear,
Yeah.
as a reminder, this is just me make sure everyone has the full picture. The crossbow warns you of hostile intent. Typically, it keeps you from
Right.
being surprised, whereas the alarm spell will warn you of the presence of anyone, hostile or not.
Well, I'll set up the alarm spell for the door anyway.
So, but like, even if a creature wants to kill you and it walks up to you, the crossbow doesn't warn you. It would warn you when they make the decision to attack you. That's when the crossbow warns you. So, a guy can think you're a dickhead or even want to punch you, and the crossbow won't do anything. It's only when he has the action that makes the decision, I'm gonna go stab this fucker. That's when the crossbow warns you. It picks up their emotion.
Yeah, I say set up the alarm, set up the hut. If you want to set up some rattle traps, we can do that. But
Okay.
You guys want the audible one, which is in a 60-foot radius? You'll hear a bell ring.
sure.
Or I can just set up a mental one for me and wake you guys up if I get it.
It's
That
up to
way,
you. It's
the
up to you. You're
intruder won't
casting it.
know.
Are there any dark spots in our tent?
I think I'll just do the mental one actually, because it'll
Okay.
wake me up, and then like we'll already be in a hut protected.
Yep.
Okay. So that's the plan for the night.
Stefan's
Okay.
looking for the darkest spot in the tent.
Okay. Well, with the lights out, like with the sun down, it's pretty dark in the swamp to begin with. So the hut itself is very well shaded. Now, if you're looking for the darkest corner, or were you setting up the hut at the edge of the hut? Is it more in the middle?
I was just gonna set it in the middle.
Okay. So it's in the middle. You would have to stay outside the hut then to be like in the corners up against the walls. But
It's 10-foot radius.
yeah. Oh, yeah. So you would be poking up out of it because basically the hut spans the width of the hut, but it's a hemisphere. So at the edges of the hut, that's
boy.
where it's hitting the ground and not going straight
You'd
up.
be safe just in the tiny hut.
Fair enough.
Okay. So everybody rest through the night. You're all troubled by dreams that cling to you, but you can't remember. I need everyone to make a charisma saving throw again. Brian's pretty good at those.
Yeah.
I like these charisma saves.
Oh, Gamelon's not so great at those.
I
Well, I
don't know
forgot
what
to-
happened, but that was awesome.
I forgot to change it, but so Gamelon fails and gets another level of exhaustion. Well, he gets his first level of exhaustion again.
Come back.
And this time, Karnan picks up a level of exhaustion. He's also suffering disadvantage on his skill checks at this point. So, you awake in the morning. and neither Karnan or Gamelon were able to rest throughout the night. They had a long rest, but did not benefit from it. So you're unable to change any spell slots or anything again today, or recover any that were expended. However, no one's worse for wear. Nothing came in the night. The fog is particularly heavy this morning. You are camped on a hut on the middle of a large, like a small lake.
Did
By
we
the way,
still
you'd
not
say the
make
lake
it out
is
of this
probably
hex?
5-10 feet deep for the most part. No, you didn't reach the edge of the swamp.
Hey.
When you found this hut, it was already near dark, and you were near the. You were not near the. You weren't able to see daylight yet through the trees. Like you had not reached the edge of the swamp yet.
It's on.
By your map, Nace, you feel like you probably should have made it.
Let's jump through the windows and get out of here.
Jump through the windows.
Is that the plan? The door's still there, and the catwalk is, by the way, just so everyone knows.
Yeah, I will recast
first
the
thinking-
water walking and the water breathing. And
Okay,
leave.
re-ritual everybody.
Have we been confused at this point and we're walking the wrong direction? If we think we should have been out by the maps?
Probably.
Anyone's welcome to make a survival check. Try and reorient yourselves.
Hmm.
Today, I have
All over it.
disadvantage.
Okay, I got Weedall. Weedall, you're fairly confident you've been heading southeast just based on where the sun came up. So, from where you see, it's not so much you see the sun come up, but you can tell the lighter's brighter in that direction. And Stefan is in complete agreement with you that you feel like you were heading southwest based on even just using the hut as a landmark and the
Could
direction
it be
the
this
catwalk was
magical
originally.
aura in here that is causing us to walk in circles? I know one way we can find out. We'll continue southeast, and if we run across a hut, Weedall's going to scratch his name in the hut. Weedall was here.
Okay.
Yeah,
I like how you don't
awesome.
even use an alien.
Yes.
You're like literally
Yeah.
me, guys.
Okay.
Hey, wait.
So if
Under
we
that, I'm
Replacing-
gonna use my dagger and put he likes airships.
Okay.
Airships rock.
You're defacing someone's home. Some poor swamp head's house.
but
You're so
if we-
considerate.
if we walk all day and come back on a hut and look at it, and Weedall likes airships was here, then we know we're walking in circles.
Okay. So, you set out and continue southwest for the day.
Oh, can you grade a restoration yourself again, or I don't know how that works.
There's two of us.
Yeah, he could only get one of them.
One's better than none.
So,
If we haven't used it by the time we rest for the evening, I'll pop it.
Okay.
um,
I think we just failed the death save.
New campaign.
It was a good run, guys. I hope you had fun.
okay. So, you continue southeast. You're fairly certain, based on your travel and where the sun position is, that you're heading southeast right now at the very least. After about 100 yards, the reeds just get thicker and thicker. And as you push through a particularly large clump of reef, you find yourself standing at the edge of a pond, which looks very familiar to you from this angle, Stefan. And about 60 feet across the surface of this foggy-laden pond is a hut about 20 foot in diameter, supported by multiple stilts. You can see one window facing you from this
Oh,
end.
Weedall's gonna walk up
It
to
looks
it and
like
look
there
at the
might be a-
scratches.
Catwalk on the other side.
It's
Weedall,
not looking good.
you trot briskly across the water and get to the catwalk and inspect
Hey,
where
wait,
you
wait,
marked
wait.
it.
Well,
Yep.
they're coming that way. Can I turn around and go the other way and see if I can see them?
Sure. Okay. Weedle, as you sprint across to the catwalk, Nace turns around and just heads the other direction. When you get to the catwalk and look where you had carved in Weedle was here, the board is unblemished with no marks.
Does the hut look the same?
Looks identical. Nace, you travel for
It was
about a
like
football
100
field.
yards, right?
About a
Yeah.
football field, about 100 yards. And it's not so much that the reeds get thick, but as you're coming back, you see, you come back to the catwalk, and you can see Weedle standing out on the catwalk, looking at where he had scratched his name.
Weedle
You
waves
guys
to Nace.
see
The world is round.
Nace Nace disappears into the reeds to the
That's not
northwest.
true. It could be
and-
shaped like a Taurus.
It's true. Yeah. But
I just
soon
proved it.
after, he comes from the southwest and arrives at the catwalk.
Okay, so
Well, that's Bit of a
Weedle's
mind
gonna
fuck.
start looking for the focus of this magic as he's getting mad at it. I'm going to look at under the grate at the fireplace. Can I move the grate?
Yeah, it moves easily.
I move the grate and I kind of poke around in the fire pit.
Okay, well, the grate is the bottom of the fire pit, basically,
Oh,
where you could put the
okay.
wood, and then the ash would fall into the water.
Whatever. Weedle thinks that maybe it's not necessarily an area effect spell. Maybe he's looking for some sort of focus that's causing this.
Sure.
The
just give
catwalk
me
goes into the middle of the pond, right?
Right. The hut is right in the middle of the pond.
You want investigation?
Can I get under the
That's
hut?
actually not accurate. It's not in the middle of the pond. So the hut is about 20 feet from the southeast edge of the pond. It's about 60 feet from the northwest edge. It's about
But the
equidistant on
catwalk
either
was
side.
from the shore edge to the hut, right?
Correct. Yes. Weedle, you're not finding anything that seems like it shouldn't be here. You don't see anything unusual about the fire pit, about the hut itself. Anything.
Can I get under the hut?
Easily, yeah. Do you want to go into the water or just stay on the surface?
As best I can.
Weedle's gonna check the top
I got a
of the
life
hut, too.
preserver for like an hour.
Yeah, we've established that you can get under the water if you want to. You'll just
Yeah.
surface every round unless you swim against it. The water is thick and brackish. There's almost a layer of ooze across the bottom of the pond. It's if you get close enough to it, it seems like it's just, you know how moss almost, as it gets thick and engorged enough with water, it almost looks like a layer of slime across the water, but it's really mossy. You can feel the taste of salt water on your lips.
What about I want to like cast light on, I don't know, something that I'm wearing and try to see if there's anything like underneath the hut, like on the floor.
Sure. So the hut is supported by timbers that are just barely curved, and they move from the stilts to a central ring where those stilts are, and they kind of move in almost a spiral around so that they're offset a little, and that way the boards have lots of points to nail into, using less logs than it would take if they just did spindles. But outside of that, no, nothing unusual.
And detect magic?
The make of this hut is a little foreign to the kind of architecture you've seen around here, but that's the only thing remarkable.
Does detect magic light anything up under here?
Nothing other than the general sense that this area is magical.
The whole
Stefan-
area. It's not like the hut is more magical
Not just the
than
hut, just the hut, the pond, the area around you, all just feels like there's just a sense that this is not natural. There is something at work that is creating this place.
All right, Weedle's gonna say, "Okay, you got our attention. come out.
Yeah.
Nothing but the occasional cricket.
There's no writing anywhere. No.
Not that you found through all your inspection.
What about the roof?
So
Has
what
anyone been
about
up there?
what about a not necessarily a rope trick? Can we get up?
We got a
Maybe
climber.
Are the trees tall? Can I climb a tree and look around?
Yeah, absolutely. The trees are pretty tall. Some of them are pretty flimsy towards the top because, this is large sagging willows and stuff like that. But Weedle's not
Terrible
particularly
movie.
heavy, and he is a ridiculously good climber. So give me an athletics or acrobatics check to make your way up. I'm assuming you're trying to pierce the canopy and be able to see.
Yes. Why didn't
Okay.
that roll? Oh, it did. It just lagged.
Okay. Based on your climbing, I didn't know you had expertise in acrobatics.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not here. You're here. Based on how far you seem to be from the edges, you seem to be right in the middle of the swamp. But outside of that, no, you don't see anything else of note. The swamp is just layered in fog and dense, and the skies are gray in the distance. The sun is set behind, like the fog is like almost hovering above the swamp itself. You can just barely make out, like, the swamp goes on way too far to the southwest and way too far to the south, to the northeast, southeast and northwest, which is what leads you to believe that you're actually still in the original hex. But you can't even see the sun. The fog is so thick still above you. There's just a
Groundhog
bright
Day.
spot above you.
Yep. Right. I might go down and tell everybody we're nowhere near the edge of the swamp. We appear to be in the middle.
Okay.
Have you
And
checked what's on top of the hut?
I said I skirted on top as well.
Yeah. So the top is just grass and mud layered over thin boards. Pretty traditional construction. Nothing unusual about it.
I think we need to check these boards for writing or something.
I did
Maybe in the
two pretty
pond.
thorough investigations. Didn't find any loose boards. Didn't find any. Have we checked the area around the hut?
Outside of Stefan's skirting of the edge of the pond, no, not really.
I mean, I tried to check the water under the hut.
Right. I
didn't
mean,
find
Nace was
anything.
in the water. I mean, outside of the immediate vicinity of the hut, no.
Weedle's gonna kind of
Maybe the middle of the pond.
do a 360 around it.
I'll try
Okay.
to check the middle of the pond.
Okay, just give me investigation checks, please. And what are the rest of you doing?
Conan's keeping an eye on everybody. Who
Yeah,
wanders out of our
Stefan
area.
is maybe readying an action.
Okay. Stefan and Karnan are just on guard, waiting for something bad to happen. Weapons at the ready. Nace, Weedall, as you're searching around, Nace, you venture more out into the center of the pond, and it's there that you notice one thing that's unusual. In the mud, where you've got all of the moss and stuff, you see just a glimmer of white for a moment that's out of place. As you swim around to get a better venture at it, you're fairly certain what you're looking at is a skeleton. But it's grown through. The moss is everywhere through it, so it's just like you can see like a skull and an arm coming out of the algae and the moss, but most of the moss is like growing through its rib cage and swirling a little bit and eddying movements. It feels like this pond might be fed by some kind of spring because the water's cooler down low, like abnormally cooler, and the water's not tepid, so there must be something feeding it.
What part of the skeleton do I see?
You see basically like half of its skull that's poking out of the algae. You can make out ribs that are growing that have moss literally growing on it and through them, and you see one of its arms.
I want to cast light on the skull.
Okay. It's an inanimate object, doesn't get a saving throw or anything. The skull glows brightly. With the added illumination and the weird shadows cast by all the moss, you can see that its arm is actually two arms. The other one just has so much moss grown over it you couldn't make it out. It's bound with rope. And the rope leads to, goes down to the legs and is threaded through a large sack that has kind of a slimy film over the end of it. It makes it look green, but you can tell it's probably made of leather. It's a very large sack, probably like maybe 2 or 3 feet across if it was filled. The ropes thread through that bag and then through to his feet. And so the skeleton's hands and feet are bound in front of him. Yeah.
How far down
How far down what? In the water?
is
Probably,
yeah?
the water's maybe 8 feet deep here.
Okay, can I try to like go down, grab the sack, and bring it up?
So, all right, you swim closer to the bag, and as you reach up to test the bag, nothing happens. The skeleton, like as you jostle it a little to try and pull the bag free, you can see the rope. You can see it very closely now. The rope is bound multiple times around the legs and around the arms, but it's not very secure around the hands, mostly just the legs, and then it's wrapped through the bag has a cinch, and that cinch has been tied several times, like looped around several times, but the hands, give me a quick intelligence check in the tower, please.
A bag of rocks.
Yeah, I figured something heavy to keep it down.
If I can get a good night's rest, I can full speak with dead.
Okay, so as you're looking, and as you heft the bag a little, it's definitely filled with something large and heavy. As the idea of rocks comes to mind, yes, this is a bag full of rocks. It probably weighs like a couple 100 pounds. They're filled with small boulders. You would be able to drag it out, but you're not going to be able to like pull it to the surface. You don't have the body weight to generate enough thrust, even with your colossal strength. Now you could probably just walk across the bottom and drag it out, but that's not what catches your mind. As you look at the legs and the wrists and the way it's tied, you have a flash. There's a flash in your mind, and there's like a yellowish cloud, like a greenish clouding that's spliced with bursts of yellow light, and as it spreads, it's almost like you're looking at a window made of these clouds. This is all in your mind, and you remember playing with your brothers in the barn, and at one point tying, like you guys were trying to tie each other up, and
Tongue-tied.
well, it wasn't that. You were playing a game where you were going to all tie each other up, and then you were going to scream and whenever the girls you liked came, you would pretend that an ogre had come in and tied you up, and she had to save you. It was kind of a devious game where you were hoping there would be some inappropriate touching. But what's notable about it all, and for some reason it's almost like the memory's being forced on you, is that's what it looked like when you tried to tie your own hands up.
Stab it.
You did a great job on your legs, but on your arms, you just couldn't really get the rope that good on your arms. You got it tight enough, and you can see there's a large piece of slack rope where you had, and when you did it, you had to like bite the rope and drag it yourself, but you couldn't really get your hands that secure. It looks like this skeleton, or the body that owned it before it was just a skeleton, tied themselves up and jumped in the pond with a giant bag of rocks. While you're thinking on that, Weedle, as you are skirting around outside, you try to keep the hut in view as you're passing around. On your first pass, you don't see anything, but you just feel, I don't know, you feel a certain way about east of you. And so the hut is kind of closest to the, between the east and west edges of the pond, it's closer there. So as you venture over a little bit, you kind of are looking around and you find a skeleton. This one still has some meat on it. It's rotted flesh. Whoever it was has been dead a very long time. There's not a lot to investigate. They're completely nude. There's no clothing at all. You can't tell if that's because the clothing was torn away by animals or if they just came out here nude. There's only one item of any interest, and that is the short sword that is plunged into their rib cage. They still have their bony fingers are locked around it with the other hand on the pommel, as though they had driven it into their own ribs before dying.
Alrighty.
There's
I'm
a lot of
gonna-
vegetation growing up through the rib cage, but there doesn't appear to be any jewelry, no clothing of note, just an old rusty short sword that has been jammed through their rib cage.
Human?
Humanoid at the very least,
Okay.
possibly elvish. You're not an expert on skeletons, but you would assume human just based on the size of it.
Okay. Obviously, some sort of dementia happening. Is that all I find?
Yeah, that's the only thing you find is the
I'll-
body.
I'll get with the group and report back.
Maybe some
Okay.
insanity from not being able to get out.
Mm-hmm. Could be. They just didn't figure it out. See, if we had an airship, we could get out of here.
Exactly.
It's all about the airships.
I'm glad someone said it.
Maybe that's why I should change the group to We Like Airships. Are you going to change the group name if you ever get an airship? You kind of have to be knowable if you have your own airship. I mean, like, that's kings and queens have airships.
The unknowable airship.
It's very stealthy.
Up in the sky. It's unknowable. No, I'm pretty sure that's an airship. No, it's,
Maybe it's
the
Superman.
unknowables. I'm telling you, I know what that is. It's called an airship.
Yes, let's get back with the group.
Okay. You meet back up and report your findings, I guess. Or you guys can do that.
We have to be able to figure out a way to dispel this. What about your staff, Brian? What special abilities did it have?
It
Just Acting
has.
hard.
I can do shield. I can do ascending to Redrian. But I'm not supposed to use it.
No, agreed. I was wondering if it had some sort of other.
No, that's what I got. And I haven't needed to use any of it yet because I'm awesome like that, but
Maybe we
I'm
could
sure
try
you can relate.
pass without trace again. I don't know. It's a thought.
What do you want to sell from here? They're just skeletons that are like
Maybe they
killing themselves.
I don't know. I don't know what's keeping us here. I guess is my argument. I don't. Could just test, see if it's smart.
So, do you think these things killed themselves because they couldn't get away and they were just wanting to end it?
That's kind of my line of thinking. This sounds crazy, but maybe we're supposed to use the hut. Maybe we should light a fire in the fireplace.
Yeah, I think that's not a bad idea. But I mean, in the meantime, people are getting exhausted.
Yeah, well, I don't have. It's already evening, and I don't have any ideas. I'm gonna give you a survival check in order to find some dry wood. Then, if I fail that, well, I have my oil.
I'll cast a good berry.
That's probably a good idea.
And I will restore one of us.
I'd keep yourself restored. because you have.
Yeah.
If I can get a good night's sleep in, I can switch my spells up.
Yep.
And I can get a speak with dead, and we can talk to one of those skeletons, maybe.
One skeleton's underwater. The other one's probably most likely to.
One of them sounds like.
Mhm.
That's just
So-
one good berry. That's my mouse doing a double click thing.
Oh yeah, no problem. So the good news is because Stefan's been able to get at least enough sleep to replenish his spell slots every day, he's able to cast good berries. So food and water is not an issue at all. So is there anything else you want to do this day before we see what happens in the night?
What
I'm
time of
going
day
to-
is it?
It's up to you guys what time of day it is.
I'm going
You're
to
stuck
restore
here,
myself.
Okay, so you'll use your prayer beads to restore yourself so you're not exhausted.
I don't know. Could we find any?
If you guys
good
roll
wood?
really good saves, you might even be able to get everybody clear again. I'm sorry, what'd you say, Brian?
Could we find any good dry wood?
Uh,
Did we?
Yes, eventually it would not be a problem to find some dry wood.
Okay.
So let's light a fire in here.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're gonna light a fire. Hopefully, using the hut.
Okay, yeah, you're able to light a fire without issue. Gamelon, whoops, let me check this page here. Gamelon and, just Gamelon. So, Gamelon, you notice there's some odd shadows. Everything's normal, but just once in a while you catch what looks like almost like a grin. It's too wide, but like it's almost like a grin parts in one of the shadows you catch on the wall. And it's just kind of creepy. It's almost like a grin that has like two flailing tendrils wisp away from it. And then it kind of fades back. Could have been a trick of the light. But you're pretty sure you saw it.
Okay. Tomorrow we're gonna burn this place down.
Why wait?
Okay.
You guys want to burn
Question.
the hut down? Yes, Tim.
I have aura protection.
Yes.
So will that count as these saving throws?
You know what? It would help with these saving throws. Let me check something. It would
So
not
if
have helped you
everybody
guys.
decides to sleep within 10 feet of me.
Yeah, if you sleep within 10 feet of Karnan, you will get +2 on your saving throw.
Everybody
means
back
we're-
on the pile.
This means we're
plus two?
spooning
Yeah.
again.
This is my charisma modifier.
Oh, so more than plus. Yeah, +2 is your charisma, right?
Is it? Oh, okay.
I think so.
My
Charisma,
what's the
yeah, +2.
modifier?
Yeah, +2.
Yeah, it's 14.
So,
He's so
Every little
pretty.
bit helps, you know.
so are you
It's
burning the
gonna
house,
help
the
a
hut
lot.
down?
Yeah,
I
we're
heard-
burning the hut down.
I heard mention of burning the hut down before I started to say something. So,
Bonfire time.
is that the plan? You want to burn the hut down?
I suppose so.
Scorched earth.
If there's
Okay.
something evil here, fire often finds evil.
I
Maybe we'll
like
get
it.
rid of her, piss it off, one of the two.
Did
Okay.
you want to? Did you get rid of your exhaustion?
I got rid
already?
of my exhaustion.
Okay.
Yeah. Karnan is still fatigued. Okay,
What
it's
did
not hard
Karnan-
to.
What did Karnan roll? Because he would have had his +2.
He had like a
because
He
he's
got a
five.
1.
He got
Oh,
like a
so it's-
5 or
we
something.
rolled.
Never mind.
That's an
Yeah.
8.
Like
This-
a expressive
yeah.
five
It was a
and a six.
1.
Yeah, he did
Yeah.
not have a good roll. Okay, so it's not hard. You just fish some of the logs out with metal tools onto the floor, and it doesn't take long for the whole hut to go up. You move out of the catwalk out onto the shore, and pretty soon the entire thing burns down except for maybe a couple boards from the catwalk.
Were there any of those creepy smiles?
During the flames, no. It's just one big bright fire.
Does this have something to do with Malakaz?
Um,
I still don't know what Malakaz
you hear a
is.
voice in your head. Yes.
Uh-oh.
And then silence. Oh, by the way, that's in everyone's head.
Okay, great.
Only
Where
Nace
are you,
knows,
Malakaz?
only Nace understands what it was an answer to. The surface of the pond shudders, but like as it shudders, you get a there's something about it that seems like you're onto it, and you have another flash, a memory forced on you. Except this one's it's a random memory, uh, only a couple months old, when you were uh, standing at the or when you were at the festival. I'm sorry, not the festival, the feast in your honor, when the one person you were talking to during the feast was just like big, thunderous, fat noble. Had like 8 chins and a just giant, extravagant, like who knows how many worms gave their lives to give him the silk he was wearing. And he's just thundering around, and when he was talking, for some reason your eyes drifted off. And again, this is haloed with this weird yellow with green tendrils through it, framing almost like a mirror, and you see the cup in front of him. And you remember you were staring at that cup thinking, that's really weird. That as he was like, "Rah! You had to see the look of that bitch!" And you noticed the tension of the wine in his goblet. He was yelling so loud, it was actually vibrating his wine. And you thought, man, the vibrations match his words. And for some reason, that's imposed on your thoughts as you watch the pond shudder and then go calm.
And that happened
Man.
when we heard this. Yes.
Only Nace heard that. You all
Okay.
heard yes, but only Nace had this thought all of a sudden.
I'm saying the water of the pond shuddered at the same time. We all
By
heard
the way,
yes.
the thought being pressed on you, just like the memory, feels exactly like it does when arcane knowledge just happens for you. It's the same kind of feeling. It's just like an overriding thing that's often tied to, like, it's not so much you have perfect arcane knowledge. Sometimes you'll remember something arcane that you read because you've got all these books that you collect and read, and for some reason you can recall something you need to know when you need to know it, as opposed to committing it all to memory, which you've taken as that must be what being a wizard is like.
Yeah, I'm a super good wizard.
Yeah.
I just don't know what it means. I'm gonna explain it like to everybody. I remember the dude, and he was talking really loud, and it made his goblet like ripple, like
Jurassic
the pond
Park.
just did. Like, do we just? I don't know. I'm an Eldritch Blast the damn pond.
Okay.
I don't know.
It ripples. It shoots out, and it just forces the. And because it's magical force as opposed to an explosion, it just leaves this gouge through the water that rolls away and then slops back in and settles. Nothing unusual. It's nothing you would have been unexpected. You've blasted water before. I mean, you're a farm boy. You want to see what happens.
Yeah.
But as it does, you see the water go like. Just these shimmers in the water that just they're almost rhythmically pulsing, and then there's a pause, and then they pulse again, and then they pause, and it pulses again. It feels, and again, the same flashback, same noble, same goblet of him laughing. And the wine zhoosh every time he laughs.
Is my divine sense picking up on any of this evilness?
Yeah, thanks for asking. Evil as fuck. I was waiting for that. This whole area is evil. Everything about it, evil. It's centralized in a spot like 8 feet above the level of the exact center of the pond. Just like there's like an almost a glowing shape. It doesn't have defined edges. It's too bright and hard to look at, but it's like bulbous and like several tiers, and there's these tendrils of just pure hate that are sliding around and moving warily across the water. And the timing's close enough as you see it like hunching, like as the water's going zhish, 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 zhish. It matches, its movement matches the shutters in the water.
Hey guys,
Yeah.
there's this really evil thing just above the water.
Oh, I want to detect magic.
over
Can I
there.
see it?
Just the general sense that this area is magical.
Above the water?
It just the whole area is just.
No, I'm asking
This is not a
Cardon.
natural
I want
place.
him to like point at it. I'm gonna blast that spot.
I point
Sure.
to where I see the whole
I'm gonna
Okay.
shoot that
tendrils
spot.
and
Yeah, you let her rip. Like salvos of Eldritch Blast. They fly off into the night. Some of them strike trees way off in the distance.
Did
But
I miss?
nothing.
And Stefan,
There's
Just
nothing to
wondering
impact.
if he,
Huh?
if I should ask Karnon if I should shoot it, or does he just shoot it?
think
I
we
just shot
did.
it and
I don't
nothing
think the
happened.
Eldritch Blast didn't do anything.
Oh, you saw one of the Eldritch Blasts pass basically right through it.
So I'm gonna stay.
How long does your Divine Sense last? I think it's
Uh,
60 seconds.
Mm.
Yeah, I really thought I was going to be giving that away like minute one.
I don't see.
Oh, just click on the little shield next to Divine Sense.
Oh,
You'll just have to read the description.
Till the end of your next turn. So for about 6 seconds. So as far as I'm concerned, long enough for you to say it's right there and shh. But yeah, you can no
far
longer
out
see
is
it
it?
unless you burned another charge.
Within 30. Was that?
So the water's the pond's about 100 feet across, about 60 feet wide, and it's basically right smack dab in the middle of it.
I want to take the staff and smash the water. I don't know what
Okay.
to do.
Similar result. The water reacts like you would expect it to.
I'm going to walk out onto the water
Okay.
till I am as near the middle as I can be,
Okay.
and then I
essentially
have
right under it.
yeah, as near as I can tell. And then I have Radiance of the Dawn, which will channel divinity within a 30-foot radius of me.
That's your big whoosh flash that burns everything apart, right? Okay.
Present my holy symbol, say the prayer, invoke the power of my deity.
It's saving
And,
throw, right?
It is a con saving throw.
Okay.
Add my modifier to it. Oh no, you've walked away now. Never mind.
Well,
This is also
it's
it
I'm
invokes a
so
save. It forces a saving throw.
I see.
It flashes out, drop off your channel divinity, and there's a ripple as it passes out, and the light's searing. But after it's done, there's almost a calm. The fog seems to drift for a second, and then slowly the tendrils settle back in, and almost like watching the water cloud over the air, just kind of gets the slight tinge of the fog to it again. The water, because the water bursts away and steams and bubbles, but it's calm again. There's another in the water, just this tension ripple, the whole pond all at once, and then it stops. Periodically, it's every minute or so, the water kind of goes through the same this. It's almost like a pattern to it, but you just can't quite. It's in tune with something.
Leo's going to sit down and start scratching out the Morse code of this ripple. See if it makes any sense, if it's visualized.
Okay. It doesn't take long. You start to associate basically on off for the ripples, and maybe a stronger one for when the ripples vibrate more. Mainly due to experience with Thieves' Cant, and there is sign language associated with Thieves' Camp. There are markings you can leave to announce your presence in a city, etc. There's a code. It follows a speech pattern. Like if you were to look at the lines and dots of Morse code, you would understand, okay, this means something. And you can, from you, these vibrations in the water and ripples mean something to someone who understands them. But you do not. It definitely doesn't match anything you know from Thieves' Cant.
I'm going to show it to Stefan.
You-
Is this anything dragon related?
You do
Let me
notice,
take a look.
Okay, give me an investigation check, Stefan, with advantage related to dragons. There are a few spots where you recognize conjunction words, like a and the, because the reason you notice them is that they're dropped out of sign language or Thieves' Cant. You don't say the, you don't say a. It's just a waste of little resource you have to record a message. So the fact that you can pick up these presences of these little ones is like, that's where someone's saying a or the or an, etc. Stefan, nothing dragon related. Looking at it, there's nothing about the cadence or the number of syllables, if you were to assemble it together, that approaches draconic. Especially because none of the words are long enough for one. Draconic words are typically 6 syllables plus.
Does anybody have comprehend languages?
I do. Take 10 minutes.
Oh, well, we got time.
We're going nowhere.
Just keep going. I'll comprehend languages.
Okay, I'm going to keep recording then.
Okay. So, it takes you 10 minutes. You cast Comprehend Languages. You hear a thunderous voice, only in your head and only as you look at the water vibrating. Yes, you've figured out your fate. Never shall you leave. Only one exit for those who meet the Malakas. Death. And you can see, like, as you see it now, you can see the water vibrates with every syllable. And then as the zh, 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 it's this ha, 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 ha. I watch you thrash about, not knowing the fate upon you. Death awaits you.
I'll just repeat the message to everyone else.
Is that what the message
This is
said?
a lovely place.
Yeah. I'm sorry, what'd you say, Neil?
Well, this is a lovely place.
Yeah, it's a real vacation spot. There's a waiting list and everything.
Airbnb.
Yeah.
Apparently,
it's really
our turn
a
to
couples
kill
retreat.
ourselves.
Like, it just
Yeah.
makes sure you have nothing but the two of you to pay attention to.
Oh, so did I meet the guy or the girl in the water? Because we all found
Oh,
the other.
that was a joke that Jason made. That is not a DM clue you need to
Nope.
latch onto. All
Nope,
right,
latch
let's-
in.
Well, let's.
You could check in
I'm
if
throwing out
anything-
there.
I want to be very clear. There's no hook there. They killed themselves. That's the hook. We're done. Move on.
So it's Condition Hotel California.
Mm-hmm.
I'm throwing out there again. Let's try maybe a pass without trace and some stealthy movement. Do I got some stealthy?
It's
everybody?
magic keeping us in here, though.
I'm gonna sneak myself past a god.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's the first time. Can you do that?
It's a really high difficulty check.
So, Redrian got a lot more powerful last time, and he was saying we could, message him in cases of emergency.
I think this qualifies.
If I can get a good night's rest, I can do a divination.
We could rope trick to another
Do you
dimension.
have it prepped?
Not right now, no. That's why I need a good night's rest.
All right, I'm down for
Write
a
this
rest.
down. Let me write this down. Wait.
Does rope trick go to another dimension?
It does, but once it's over, you just fall back out of it.
That's just an interesting thing I hadn't considered.
If I can target the beast, I can do
Hyperspace.
I can try something on it, but I need to know where it's at.
That's it. We don't know where it's at, and I don't actually think it's here.
Yeah,
I think
I don't
it's
know.
in
That's a
the
great
layer.
idea. I'm just saying.
An invisible entrance opens to an extra dimensional space that lasts until the spell ends. Hold as many as 8 medium or smaller creatures. Attacks and spells can't cross the entrance into or out of the extra dimensional space, but those inside of it can see through. So a 3-foot by 5-foot window centered on the rope. Anything inside the extra dimensional space drops out when the spell ends. Interesting. But it only
We
lasts
just
an
fall
hour,
from
right?
the sky. Yeah,
It only lasts
we
an
just
hour, right?
die.
Yeah.
All right. I guess that only works for an hour.
Well, I say we try to get Gamelon to pass
How
that
long does
check.
comprehend languages work?
1 second.
I think it's, 10 minutes or an hour?
Dang it. That's the message I'm sending.
Okay.
I'm pulling up comprehend languages. Well, it's 1 hour duration.
Okay. Okay, I suppose I have to get you a response here.
I'd like to use a lifeline.
I'm going to
I don't know
second
what to
that.
do.
I really don't like the music right now.
Well, the good news is why couldn't I there was a warning. I gotta remember that.
Using it too often could draw the attention of the immortal that created the staff.
Oh, that's it.
And as he doesn't want the attention of the immortals on him investigating the immortals, that's why he doesn't want you to use it unless you have to. Or use it sparingly. He said no more than once a week.
Well, I haven't used it yet, damn it.
Yeah.
So in the morning, if I've rested, I can detect good and evil, which will let me know about any creatures.
I got berries. Don't forget, I got some berries if you need some berries to help you rest.
I don't know about protection from good and evil.
I use that 25 word limit.
This isn't anything counterspell could counter, is it?
You counter when they cast. You need to dispel
Yeah.
magic when
That-
something's
yeah, I guess
existing.
it's a reaction.
Ooh.
I just don't want to wait another night because what if we get 4 people rolling like 2s or something?
Yep, can happen. And if we don't figure this out, eventually we will have a string of bad rolls.
Yeah, I don't really have a nap or whatever that spell is.
Nap?
There's a spell that induces magical sleep for a sleep period. I don't know what it's
You
called.
also have inspiration. You can get advantage on your save.
Or you could just roll better than 5.
Then there's that.
Because if he gets a good night's sleep, it should remove a level of exhaustion.
Well, I don't have one right now, but being able to swap the spells out is the important part.
Yeah.
What would I swap out? So I'd get... I could detect good and evil.
I'm pretty sure we found evil.
Yeah. I could try to banish it, but I don't know if that would be worthwhile or not. Karnan, you could... Oh, he's gone. Oh, he's right there. Could you actually see the creature?
I could see what the creature wanted me to see of it, I guess. Tentacles, a big, bright, glowing mass with the tentacles that seem to move in conjunction with the vibrations on the water, reaching out. I find it interesting that it has not attempted to actually do anything
Toying with us.
other than just sit and watch us.
They live a
Kill
long time
ourselves.
just toying with us.
Damn it. Redrian's worthless.
Can I shoot it? I mean, do I? Can you give me some
The Eldritch
direction?
Blast didn't do anything.
What did he say? Sorry, I'm busy.
He
Okay.
says we have the tools at our disposal to find and escape.
We're sorry. The number you have dialed has been disconnected.
Basically, right? Like, dude, like no hints or anything? Like, what the fuck is a Malakaz?
All right, we got what we need.
Probably
So,
backwards. Maybe it's Zidus.
I'm super good at magic. Oh, by the way, good luck.
I want to check my inventory, see if I have anything in there. There's party inventory.
I can
Nothing
divination
in party
tomorrow if I sleep
inventory.
well.
I could take a look around and see if I find a way to get out, and then shout, "Hey, I'm over here!"
I've got navigator's tools. What do those do? Ship's course.
They're very handy on airships.
Yeah.
All
Any
right.
Plan?
Can I try to use my awesome wizardy arcana to see if I know anything about a Malakaz?
Absolutely. Never heard of it.
Fuck.
Stefan's gonna try to stealthily find some way that Stefan thinks is stealthy to move towards land.
Okay.
Look
I
at
need
it
a
roll.
stealth check in the tower, please.
We're just gonna try to sneak away.
Maybe.
Are you gonna cast Pass Without Trace for this?
Well, not
I
at
will-
this point. No, I'm just trying. I'm
Okay.
yeah,
fine.
he's going out by himself.
Okay, just give me a stealth check.
Nope, nothing rolled. All right, let's try that again.
The only water I have is my daughter's sippy cup.
So if one of
Um,
us wants to walk due north and one of us wants to walk due south, will we meet each other halfway?
And that's what I did. I turned around and I saw.
Yeah,
Weedle.
when Nace tried going the opposite direction, he ended up coming to the other side of the pond. You travel around for a bit, Stefan, and eventually you find yourself back at the pond. You try several times. It doesn't matter which direction you go. After about 100 feet, or after about 100 yards, you end up back at the swamp.
Thinking
I mean,
one of you
that's
magic
the pond.
guys are gonna have to do something because man, this place is messed up.
Anyone know how to spell Malakaz?
Oh, that's a very good idea.
What is?
We can slap the water and say his name, and then he has to appear. He's speaking through the water. We can speak back, right?
Yeah. Do it. That
If
sounds
we
awesome.
speak his language.
Well, we can use what we have before in the interpretation of it as a Rosetta Stone.
Well, since he can speak to us, or he can speak in a way that Nace can understand, I would assume as a god he could understand us.
I think this is a puzzle to be solved, not necessarily one to be fought our way out, to fight our way out.
It just wants us to wait and die.
This pond, is it held up by a dike system? Could we drain it?
No, it actually seems to be a natural depression that dips below the water table. I mean, it doesn't seem unusual for the swamp. It's just a wider clearing. Because there's been pools everywhere.
Yeah. Traveling in any direction doesn't help. The hut had nothing to do with it. I found 2 bodies we assume were suicides. We know there's a nexus of evil above the swamp. Shooting it doesn't matter. We know the water reacts to Malakaz, whatever his name is.
Hey, Malakaz, we found 2 skeletons. How many more are around?
I guess you're comfortably. It's what, 10 minutes? Is that what you said? Or
I only
an hour?
We heard the yes in our heads. I was just hoping he would respond.
Okay,
But
I didn't know if
yeah,
you had comprehend.
it
I'm
lasts.
just asking if you had comprehend languages going still.
Yeah. I mean, if at
Okay,
all possible.
then you
It's
hear
1
a
hour.
response. Then you hear a response. Absolutely. To count the dead would be to count the stars.
I mean, it sounds like we got time on our hands.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound promising.
Which one's your favorite? I'd like to see it.
I will enjoy consuming your soul.
Oh, you don't understand. We have the tools to get out of here anytime we want. I'm just kind of interested right now.
I am sure you do. None accept their fate.
Weedle's
the
going to
end.
build an airship.
Just get started.
Mhm.
You gonna start with mud or what?
Yep. I've got charcoal from the burned hut.
Muted, Neil. Sorry. I couldn't hear you, Neil.
Airship made of charcoal.
So no deaths are your favorite?
It's silence.
Oh,
Bill's gonna go-
Malakaz is scared. He had to go quiet.
Even after telling Stefan that'll never work, Weedle's going to go out to the middle of the pond and throw his dagger up at the where he thinks that nexus is.
Give me a dexterity check.
You've stabbed yourself.
Oh, never mind. It returns to your hand. So
Yes.
I was thinking if you could catch it when it came back down.
Oh no.
But it returns to your hand. So it whistles up into the air and then comes back to your hand. Nothing.
I'm gonna show Weedall where the skeleton was with the rocks.
Okay.
I thought you drug it out. Or did you leave it?
I left it before.
Oh, okay.
I'll drag it out now.
Okay. Yeah, it's no problem. You can retrieve it.
Does anyone have wireless access?
No Wi-Fi here.
Yeah, but only one per day.
Not sure I have any abilities.
So
That'll
was it
help.
rocks inside the bag?
Yes.
Oh,
The world's
Malekith,
worst
you're gonna have to
suicide.
end me because I'm not ending myself.
And if we tap the water in some sort of random rhythmic way, it doesn't do anything. Doesn't like irritate them, like poking a hornet's nest.
Didn't seem to.
Okay, somebody has a spell or ability we need, or something in the inventory, or a better idea than I'm coming up with. Weedle still can't believe that burning down the cabin didn't work.
Well, this
Probably,
could be a bad idea, but what if I try to misty step myself right into the heart of the demon?
I was gonna say. I was gonna try fairy fire first.
Targeting what?
Surface of the pond in the middle of the lake,
It was like 8 feet above it.
20-foot cube.
Okay. Go and check out your spell slot. And what's his saving throw against?
Dexterity.
So it's like in this purplish blue flame starts on the surface and climbs in a volume and dissipates at the top, having secured to no living creature.
Yeah, figures much.
Is it on like a different plane?
I do not know what to do.
No, Weedle doesn't know what to do either, so he's just gonna do another investigation around the area, see if he can find anything out of the ordinary that might be a
Hey,
talisman,
let's look for more skeletons.
a mark. Yeah, more bodies, just
Make an
anything
investigation
that
check.
could give us clue. Yes, sir.
Okay, so this will take quite a while. I mean, you're going to spend hours doing this.
I
to
got
search the
nothing
area.
better to do.
I just want to make sure everyone's clear. Like this is moving time forward. The only thing you can do is when you get 100 feet away, there's always a thick wall of reeds that blocks your ability to see the hut. And if you push through it, you find yourself back at the other side of the clearing looking at the hut. And if you turn
Can I
around
try to-
immediately, you can walk 200 feet that direction before you'll come up to a wall of reeds. And when you push through them, you'll find yourself on the other side of the pond.
Can I see over the reeds?
The reeds are always, no matter how you approach it, the reeds are always obstructing your view. And when you push your way through them, you are not where you expect to be. You are back about 30 feet from the pond, and you have to turn around and go 200 feet the other direction to get back to the wall.
But are there any trees next to where these reeds are?
Yeah, sure. Trees, reeds. I mean,
Okay.
it's
I'm
a
gonna
normal
climb
growth.
up a tree
it just
next
gets
to a reed.
really dense when you get approximately 300 feet from the center of the pond. That's what your investigation is. You can get 300 feet exactly from the edge of the pond before the overgrowth gets so thick, your only option is to push through it. And then you will find yourself 30 feet from the edge of the pond, 200 feet from the edge that you just pushed through.
My
Like when you
question
push
is, can
through,
I
if you
find
turn around, it's not there anymore.
Can I find a tree that's 295 feet from the thick obstructions, climb up it a little bit, and then jump over the reeds?
You can, but as you walk along the wall trying to find a spot where the reeds are thick, that there's a tree, and you find one pretty easily. The only problem is the tree itself it's just like a layer of fog just above the reeds that's almost like dissipating as it gets closer to the pond, but the fog is so thick it's impenetrable.
Okay.
But
Can
you
I
can climb the
go back-
tree, you end up climbing up into the fog. You can see about 2 feet. You can't see where you would land if you jumped.
Can I go back down to the reed wall
Sure.
and use my rapier / short sword like a scythe? So I'm not pushing through the wall. I'm actually cutting through it.
Well, not a rapier. A rapier has very
Okay.
little edge.
Short
it's a
sword,
stabbing weapon.
whatever.
But your guitar works just great.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah, you slash with your claws. You cleave them away. It's fog. Thick, heavy fog. Not fog you encountered when you were pushing through the reeds.
All right. Now I'm going to go back.
It's
and tell
actually the same
guys-
thick fog as the tree.
I'll tell the guys, look, get 300 feet away, you come back. If I push through the reeds, I come back. If I cut
We
through
want to
the
ask him if there's anything we have that
It's
might
different.
interest him.
And maybe we can climb up 59 feet, put in a movable rod. I don't know if we can tie an arrow to the movable rod and shoot it out. And that doesn't seem
Get
likely.
ourselves
Oh,
an
never
accident.
mind.
So I don't have a solution. I'm just saying as a data point, you get 300 feet away, you come back. If you push through the reeds, if you cut through the reeds, it's different. There's a very thick fog. So this perimeter of reeds has something to do with the trap.
What if you walk there backwards?
That's a good idea. I walk through backwards.
Trying it.
I just disappear and
Terrible
walk
idea.
through the reeds backwards.
Through the
Trying it.
reeds or through the fog?
Through the reeds.
Okay. You push your way back through the reeds, and as you're pushing through, you're pushing through. All of a sudden, there's no force, and just as suddenly, the reeds you were just pushing through fade. They're just not, and actually not even fade. You see them like, whoosh, like almost wisp away from you like smoke, and you can see a wall of reeds in the distance shrinking away till you lose sight of them, and when you turn around, you're 30 feet from the edge of the pond.
So I walk back and say, stupid idea, Gamelon.
Worst idea.
He actually did it.
I say we cut.
That's a note. It's noteworthy though, because you're paying attention to it though. As you are backing through, as it swoops away, the reeds almost fog up and are just a wall of fog drifting away. By the time they are leaving your sight, they're not reeds anymore. It's just fog.
Would
So maybe
Thunderclap
this is all an
dispel fog?
illusion.
Wait. So at 300 feet away, they walk away. So what if you walk backwards, and then when they go away, you go forwards?
He's
Thinking
200
we
feet.
need, like, a
He's already
see-through
he's 200
illusion.
feet from the wall. Whenever you push through, you find yourself 30 feet from the edge of the pond, about 200 feet from wherever you just were to
Right.
push through.
I'm gonna try to cut deeper into the fog, so I'm not pushing through the reeds. I'm just
Okay.
blazing.
As you cut and hack your way through the fog, the same thing happens. You're 30 feet from the pond.
Okay, that didn't work either. But did we learn anything? Not really.
The only thing you're pretty confident of from your experiments is that if you climbed a tree and jumped, the same thing would happen. You would land 30 feet from the pond, looking back at fog instead of the tree you jumped from.
Okay. I'm gonna ask Nace to walk that way, and I'm gonna walk this way, and we're gonna go at the same time.
Let's high five on the way.
Opposite directions?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. After some experimenting, you end up on opposite sides of the pond, about 30 feet from the edge.
But did I see him going by?
No.
We're also gonna go back to the pond and look and see if there's a way to, if there's a cave or a way to go under, a way out that's in the pond instead of through the reeds.
No. I'm also going to need saving throws if you guys are trying to stay awake at this point, because it's getting late.
Well, we might as well try to sleep because we're gonna be doing a saving throw either way.
All right, I'm going to set up a hut.
Okay.
So you sleeping, or is this a try and stay awake?
Everybody spoons.
Oh, no.
Passing
I'm
the
going to
berries.
sleep.
And we're all sleeping on top of Karnan.
Passing out
Okay.
berries.
Everyone's gonna sleep right next to Karnan.
We're
Anyone
gonna
using inspiration?
snuggle.
Out of curiosity,
Sure, why not?
I get +2 to this, right?
you get +2 and advantage if you use inspiration.
Right. I believe with +2 I'll be okay.
Okay.
What am I rolling? It's
Oh
been so long.
Whew.
man, that was a rough one.
Charisma save, right?
Yes,
Oh
charisma.
no.
Jesus.
Oh,
Well, that was
no.
good.
Okay, I
Good that
see
I used that inspiration.
an 11, a 19, a 12, an 18,
So bad.
and Stefan got a 16. Everybody passed their save.
Yeah!
Nobody picks up more exhaustion.
Wow.
Gamelon, you were actually rested enough that you could adjust your spells if you want to. Like you have
I
your
want
normal
to.
meditation period. Karnan, you still have one level of exhaustion though. A long rest should remove a level of exhaustion. It did not.
I know somebody that can
Is he
get
the
rid
only
of
one
that.
who has?
Yes.
All right, then I will utilize my.
Did you say you are changing your
Yes, I am.
spells? Okay.
I'm going to swap out.
I think it's something to do with the rhythm of the water. I think we've
Okay.
got to do something there.
I do too. It's too coincidental.
Is the hut back?
So, as you're sitting in the little globe, resting, somebody's keeping watch at various points in the night. The fog kind of drifts over a few times. At one point, the fog drifts over heavy and thick, and as it passes, kind of as the first crack of light is starting to spear through the fog in the morning, it's casting a shadow from a perfectly undamaged hut in the center of the water, right where it was.
Malakaz doesn't like it when it changes. You feel like we crashed as Airbnb, and rent is just extremely steep.
I feel like we have everything we need in order to get out of this. We just don't know what that is.
Hmm. All right, I've got that swapped.
Okay, I want to detect magic and Eldritch Blast the water to see if we get those vibrations going again.
Okay? Nothing happens. The water doesn't vibrate
So
or anything.
Malakaz,
The water blasts, but no, nothing else occurs.
I'm gonna say, Malagaz, we're getting bored of your little game.
Silence.
He only talks to you nice.
he doesn't talk to me anymore. He's kind of scared that we're about to leave.
Oh, we're gonna leave. We're gonna figure this out.
I mean, we're feeling well rested now. This is like a little vacation, which was nice because we just walked a long way.
Well, Karnan has a level of exhaustion, but we can fix that.
I'll fix that.
I thought it was fixed.
No, I fixed mine.
Okay, so you're fixing Karnan's exhaustion.
I'll fix Karnan's. That'll be today's usage.
Okay.
All right, Jason, I'm going to take my movable rod and put it down. I'm going to tie a rope to it, and I'm going to walk into the reeds.
You
Okay.
don't have 300 feet of rope?
Yeah,
Let's see
you've
what
got 50
happens.
feet of rope.
No, I'm going to walk up to the reeds. I'm going to fix it
Oh,
to the
you
ground.
mean once you get there? Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay. You walk through, and you find yourself on the other side of the reeds, 30 feet from the pond.
Am I holding the rope?
Kind of. You are holding the rope, but it's not tied to anything. Like it's slack.
I'm going to go get my movable rod. Is it still there?
Give me an investigation check.
No, I'm going to investigate the hell out of this.
With advantage?
Nah.
Nope.
Where are my skills?
Not unless he has expertise. That's kind of advantage.
I can guidance
I have
you.
Does
expertise. Does
in
guidance take a
investigation?
spell slot?
I'll guidance his investigation.
Okay. That adds.
You'll have to go
4.
with him.
I'll go with him.
Okay.
He's my buddy.
Yeah.
He wants his
So-
rod.
Just roll your investigation. Brian, roll a d4. That's what I'll add to it.
Oh, I've added. Oh, I see. It's
Okay.
a D4. Hang on. Let me get rid of this.
Okay. Well, you're adding 4. You can't find it.
Ooh, maybe I should go
Uh-oh.
walk up there with him.
What did I roll? 4 plus 7. I added 11 to whatever I rolled.
Fawn, you can only go off where he told you he left it, but you are not finding it either.
The immovable rod has moved.
No, but it's more data. It's more data.
So are we getting back to the same place? Or
But see, y'all didn't
reconstruction
move. I
of the same
went.
place?
I'm gonna walk through exactly where I came out and go the other way, and then look for it.
Okay.
I wonder if it's
Give me another
temporal.
investigation check.
I wonder if it's temporal. It would be temporal because time's passing the same for all of us.
Don't find it.
So how wide are these reeds as you press through them?
Normal reeds, they're all just grown together so thickly you can't see past them.
So what if we walked through together holding ends of a rope? One goes to one pushes through the reeds. and
Hey,
hold-
Karnar, can you see if it's still here above the pond?
Let me crack off another divine sense.
Okay. There is a. It's not as bright as it was the previous night when you saw it, but yeah, there's still just this essence of an evil being floating above the water. It's just like I said, it's almost like bulbous blobs stacked with like 2 long tentacles coming away, but it just kind of lazily shifts about. As I said, it's a silhouette that is shining, so it's blurred edges. It doesn't seem like it's paying attention to you, though. Like last night, it seemed intently focused on you. Tonight, it seems to not care. Or today, it seems to not be paying attention to you. And then, your vision fades away and you lose sight of it. But it's in roughly the same spot. It hasn't moved.
It's still there, but it's a tad weaker.
Interestingly
is-
enough,
Perhaps it's ambivalent.
you do notice one thing. It's the exact same distance from you it was, even though you are not at the exact same spot that you were over the pond before. Like, as far as your position of where you were sitting the night before, you're not in the exact same spot. It is the exact same distance from you it was then. So, it's actually not directly over the center of the pond. It's over the pond, but it's actually offset a little to match your position.
While he does this, I'd like to detect evil and good on stealth.
Okay.
What if we
Yes, Scott?
all go out of the reeds in different directions?
We'll all come back in different directions. It'll be
Well,
fun.
Okay. I think there was a clue there that
This
I'm
last
not
10
putting
minutes.
Stefan wants to taunt as he's leaving.
Okay. Same idea. So you have to move about a bit closer in the direction that Karnan saw it because 30-foot range. But yes, you get to a point where you're certain that there is an evil presence within 30 feet of you. It is a fiend. It's actually two things. It's a fiend and a fae. Like you pick up both. And you also can tell the ground within 30 feet of you is desecrated.
Ground here is desecrated. There is a fiend or a fae of some kind in front of me.
Can you undesecrate the ground?
Do paladins have turn?
We do. I'm trying to remember. And how's it? Where is it? Where did it go? Turn the faithless, part of my channel divinity. That are ancient words, painful for fae and fiends as an action. Present their holy symbol, and each fiend within 30 feet must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, it is turned.
Burn it.
Because I can't hallow yet, so.
Yeah.
COVID.
I can't dispel evil yet either.
Well, if we wait here long enough, we should level up.
So, let's see. How do I?
Die of
Hey.
exhaustion.
It inflicts a saving
Do that.
throw on your target. I
Okay,
don't think you have to be able to see them, right? You just have to be within range.
just within 30
30
feet.
Okay. Well, moving to where Neil is, I mean, Gamelon can tell you when you're within 30 feet of what he's
30
sensing.
feet.
He doesn't see it, he can just sense its presence. Let me check your...
And I turn the faithless.
Faithless. Okay, it'll have to make a wisdom save against your spell DC. And wisdom is your... No, charisma is your casting. So that's a DC of 12. Okay. You'll check off your channel divinity. And... Well, that's the worst saving throw I've ever rolled for a monster. Not true. It's not the worst, but it wasn't good enough. Everyone roll for initiative.
Yay.
Oh, you pissed off the deity?
Probably.
This ain't the first god I put to rest, and it won't be the last.
So, despite how spread out you all were, you're standing right here, right next to each other. You're all in a little cluster, and standing in probably, I mean, what, you can't tell how deep the water is immediately, but with very little of it in the water, you see this right here.
that isn't.
It was just
I was
like
trying to
all in
share
our
this.
mind.
There it goes.
Oh boy.
This is standing
Oh,
right in
boy.
front of you with these giant bulbous eyes just glaring down at you, and it's all of a sudden you see the stalks on top are like shaking, and it like takes a step back and then stops. Karnan broke its concentration with his turn and forced it, it lost its concentration to maintain the illusion that it had you trapped in. You're all extremely hungry. You would guess that you have been standing here for about a day and a half without any food or water. Every bone in your body hurts. Your joints ache. You have just been standing for 36 hours. Everybody has a level of exhaustion.
Hooray!
Actually, I'll give you a Constitution save to not have one.
I will use my
I want to use my
advantage
inspiration on this one.
Okay.
Chickens,
Me too.
be strong!
Okay, so I've got Karnan failed. That is exhausted.
Oh, why did I?
Super glad I used that inspiration.
I've
Me
got
too.
Gamelon made it. Weedall made it. Nace made it. Stefan made it. Okay, so Karnan, you are suffering from exhaustion. That's crazy. It was a 15 DC, and 4 of you made it. So, all right, Karnan, you are suffering from exhaustion again.
Strong like the bull.
All of you are aching and sore, but Karnan's frail elven body couldn't take it, apparently.
Sorry, Karnan. Even with your
Yeah.
extra plus
We'll
4,
be
you
fine,
still didn't
buddy.
make it.
Nace is used to spending hours out in the field.
Hollow
Gamelon is a massive tree trunk. Stefan spent his life hiking in the mountains, and Weedall, I mean, you've seen the positions cats sleep in, so he's fine. The X signifies where your wand of, your rod of, immovable rod is currently floating.
Okay, I'll get that later.
It's
Get a
Now,
floater.
since he's turned, he has to continue to try to get away from us.
Kind
He
of.
can't
So
come too
it was such a good idea. He actually shakes the effects off immediately, but it was such a good idea that I was like, okay, this broke it. Other options for breaking it was to cast Dispel Magic.
That's what I was about to do. Yeah.
Or to teleport when at the edge of the
Misty Step would have
reeds.
worked.
If you had gone to the edge of the Misty Reeds and then Misty Stepped, you would have escaped. And found the other 4 people enthralled standing there looking at this thing. But based on your boot prints sinking into the muck, you guys have literally been standing here for a day and a half. You have not moved. Okay. Now, the Malakaz actually went first, and so that's why we're at this. Its concentration was broke, but it gets to try and save again at the end of the turn and made it. So you broke the spell. You broke its concentration. However, it is still standing here. But it is surprised for the first round because it was most certainly not expecting you to break out of it. Weedall, you're the first to act. There is a giant mammoth blubbering wall of... I mean, it looks kind of like a cross between a frog and a neotug.
Yeah. Malik has this. Here.
Okay, so he moves up and hits with a Qatar. I love when he leads with the Qatar. It's kind of my favorite. And, being the only one in
What
range.
the hell?
Wow.
He said he's surprised. Look at all
That
those ones.
was dog
That's a lot of
shit.
ones.
That reminds me, so there's some creatures in Beckme that are so powerful that when they're hit, they take minimum damage no matter what. That's basically what this guy is right now. Wow, that was a terrible roll.
Mm.
Okay.
If you didn't feel bad already, like
Scott-
let Jason
Scott,
rub it
you
in.
should
Just trying
go-
to rub it in.
You should be ashamed of yourself after that roll. You maybe even just quit playing D&D. Like that might
That
be
was-
the roll that did it.
That was a terrible roll.
Oh God. Hold on. Oh my god, she literally called me. I guess it's answering. Is she gonna answer or pick up or what? There she is. Hi. Sure. You need to come down and get him. I'm in the middle of the game.
Weedle says, I softened him up for you guys.
I think you'll be okay, honey. I'm in the middle of the game. I have candy down here, but you have to come get it. You should also know I'm in the middle of streaming. And I can't block what video is being recorded on my stream right now.
But
So
I need gummy worms.
It's very important.
I understand.
that's not
I
true.
understand.
I think
need
it
gummy
was
worms
sending
too.
my audio. I think it sent everything she was saying to the stream. Scott, you might be able to confirm that.
No, we didn't hear her.
Yep, I did not hear.
We heard you.
Not
talking
you
to
guys,
yourself.
but people listening to the stream might have.
Oh,
I don't know because I have the stream on mute after I do my
okay.
check,
Okay.
and I was too late.
Just
She
clip
thinks
it.
I only have Reese's Dark, but I actually got her a pack too.
Oh, nice.
smart.
If she comes down to
Okay.
get them, she said she didn't really want to move. So
There's
Yeah.
You're in trouble.
come on, get them. Just come get them.
The hand.
I'm trying to give them to you.
and that's how
There
the
you go.
D&D campaign ended.
That's right, and y'all
Sorry,
died.
I'm stretching out so far. It's hard. I love you. They're not even dark. I'm an asshole for getting an extra pack of the kind you like. What? No, the ones I have are dark. I wanted to surprise you. It's the right amount of chocolate for the peanut butter. Trust me. I do. Okay, I need to finish the game, okay? Henry! Oh, you just let Henry out. Honey, I'm getting back to the stream, okay?
She just called him
What?
a racist because they weren't dark.
You're what? You're upset that I got you Reese's.
You know
Did you just
why.
try it? You're high. They're gonna be great. Are they great? Yeah, they're all right. That's what I thought. I love you. God. Well, at the very least, the best part of this night is I have a recording of that.
Yeah.
I'm
It's on
upset.
record.
They're thins. Oh my god.
It's worm. You procured the wrong type of succulents.
Okay, and Weedle bolts away.
Chicken.
Let me check something here.
These deities understand only one thing.
The sword.
No. The healing effects.
Okay. All right. Nace advances forward.
Did you say it was surprised?
Yes, it is surprised.
Okay. I'm gonna booming blade this bastard.
Okay.
Oh.
Weedle, I should tell you, the water that's like this color is a couple feet deep, difficult terrain. Water that is deep blue like this is 5 feet deep or deeper.
I have a ring of water walking.
I just keep forgetting that you guys are walking on water anyway.
We all. Yeah.
So
This thick god complex.
Or just,
just keep forgetting. Okay, you hit with
It's a
booming
thing.
blade.
Okay, which one does that? Okay, that's that one. And then I do my damages.
17 damage.
Okay. And then I move 10 there, so that's 15. I can move 15. So let's go down here.
Okay.
And I'm good with that. I'm happy. I feel happy.
Gamelon.
There's an unholy abomination in front of me. And it must burn.
Make him move.
I'm going to cast Fireball at him, but I wish to upcast it to 4th level.
Oh.
How do I make that happen?
Please make him move.
Well, first he failed his save, and then you
This is gonna hurt.
pick up the damage dice and then right-click for every level of upcast, so 2 levels, right? Or 1 level, right?
1 level, yeah.
Okay. And you're firing it behind him so that it doesn't catch you guys.
Yes.
Okay.
We might even get some of those mutant fish.
Did that not roll damage?
I've not seen it roll damage, no. Unless it's just locked up.
There
Oh, there
it
it
is.
goes.
Oh, and there it goes.
That's a lot
Wow,
of
that's a
Okay.
lot of dice.
Oh, that
28
worked.
damage. It does partially resist it. Taking 14.
Man,
31
so
and a half is
another
average
shitty
damage,
roll.
So
It's wet, blubbery skin. Just the fire washes over it. It leaves it dried out, but it doesn't do the normal damage that you would expect.
All right. I will ready myself, but that is the end of my turn.
Okay. Karnan.
Ready. He said ready. That reminded me. Did I do a ready thing earlier?
We're not at your turn yet. You rolled really terrible. You're at 8 initiative.
I was thinking about the ready
Okay.
action.
Well, my
Karnan,
exhaustion
right now
doesn't.
your exhaustion is only affecting your skill checks. So
All right.
if you want to try and grapple him, it's gonna suck. But as long as you can
Uh,
resist the urge to grapple the
From the looks of him, I can
20-foot
resist well.
tall wall of blubber, you'll be all right.
All right, then let me take a swipe.
Okay. Is this with your bow?
Yes, longbow.
Okay. Yeah. You hit.
Now I'm going
Due to its size, you don't have to worry about cover
I'm going
to shoot
to
over.
cast Divine Smite at 2nd level.
Okay.
So click on the first one. And do I then click on the second one? Is that right?
Yes. Click it once to add another die of damage. The second one. There you go. And now you roll your damage.
Light.
22 more damage. It is moderately wounded, so it's showing some signs of damage as you're just unloading on it.
Well, if it was good once.
Well, you hit it with a 24, no problem.
And we will do the same upcast again.
Okay, another second level. Damn, this is a lot of burst.
Paladin's so bursty.
Yeah.
Oh, another 22.
And when he gets done, he'll be like, I need a nap. Yeah, 22 more damage. You are obliterating
At
it.
this point, I think at this point I'm really closer than I want to be.
You're really closer than you want to be.
Yeah, I think I spread some things out a little bit.
Move to the north.
10, 15, 20. And I'm going to go. Whoop. Okay, that didn't work. Oh, it's because it's Stefan. That's why I can't move me.
Okay.
I believe I can do that. And that will be me.
Okay.
I'm doing Dread Ambusher and Sharpshooter.
Where's all my
You wait for your
CP?
ambusher until after you hit. But you hit.
OBS is just fucking pegging out.
Oh, you got to do your damage.
What happened there?
Clicked on Sharpshooter and Dread Ambusher. I don't know if that's better.
So the sharpshooter. Okay, you didn't have him targeted for the first attack. But I'll drag the 13 on. Um, maybe I'll drag the 13 on. There
Yeah,
it
my
is.
mouse.
So the first one missed. The second one, you did have it targeted, and you hit with it. The second one didn't have sharpshooter going. And your dread ambusher shot missed. So you're just doing regular damage with the second shot.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, whoops. I should have taken that effect off. So he takes 2 less damage. So he actually takes 9. Guess I've done a lot of damage to it in one round, though. Okay, you do have a third shot because it's your first round.
Ooh, gross.
And
Nice.
you miss with
Whiff.
12.
Oh wait, damn! I want to move.
Okay,
I wanna move.
where to?
Mm, Right about there. The edge of that island.
Oh, you can run on water. That's right. Okay. All right. So, start of the next round. The Malakaz goes first. The first thing it does is it's a and you see there's like 4 giant tentacles whipping around. It turns and opens its cavernous mouth, and its tongue lashes out, just filling the square you're in, Karnan, and slaps against your elven plate. I need you to make or I can force it. It forces a strength saving throw.
Not my best one.
Yeah, you fail it, and
Ugh.
it drags you within 5 feet of it. It then
It's
follows
okay, Karnan, to like
It drags
make a
me within
saving
5 feet
throw.
of what?
that. It follows you up with a bite attack.
Slap, 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 slap. Oh, wait
Oh
attack.
no! Yeah, seems bad.
Wait a second. I wanna.
Does he have to be within 10 feet of you?
5, 10.
Or does he have to be within 15? Because he's 15 away.
This dude's a frog.
Well, I mean, it's a giant frog kind of beast.
I'll have to look. Within 30 feet of you, attacks a creature other than
30
you.
feet. Okay. Alright, so yeah, you can use Warding Flare. You need to drop it on Karnan, though.
We target not the Malakaz. Target Karnan. Give him 44.
Okay. And it attacks. Hitting with a
Ooh.
26.
Wow.
Okay, so first it'll do 3d10 plus some for damage. 29 points of damage to Karnan. You are blind and restrained and swallowed whole.
Oh boy, I can't imagine that's good.
That sucks.
Now, there
Now-
are some pluses to this.
Was
You
it
have
the
total
regular
cover.
size Karnan or was it the
You
thin
have total
Karnan?
cover.
You have total
What?
cover to everything outside the giant Malakaz. You will take acid damage at the start of each turn.
Misty
Yeah.
step.
And as a reminder,
100%.
while restrained, you have your speed is 0 and cannot benefit from any movement bonus. Your attack rolls against you have advantage, and your attack rolls have disadvantage. You have disadvantage on any dexterity saving throw. I don't know if Misty Step requires line of sight, but you can't see shit. So
Yeah,
Believe
he
it
has to
does.
see it
I
to
have
be
to
able to
see
it.
teleport
you
away.
can Misty Step inside its gullet. That's about it. Okay, so it's not done though. Next, it
Bring it, Slappy.
lashes out with one of the tentacles at 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope. Can't reach that one. Can't reach Weedle. Can't reach Stefan. But it can reach Nace.
All right.
And whoop. It misses with a 17 and lashes another tentacle at Gamelon.
Bring it, Slappy.
And connects with a 20.
Yes.
It does. Oh, that looks wrong. Yeah, I grabbed the wrong dice. Let's try this again.
You meant the D100.
It
Oh!
does 17 points of damage.
To itself?
Yes.
How did I
Stop
damage
hitting
myself?
yourself.
Yes.
Well, what bounces off
Whiplash.
Gamelon sticks to the Malacat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whiplash.
Try that again. That damage was supposed to be. I'm telling. My computer is pegging at 100% CPU like every 20 seconds.
There we go.
Wait, what? Why did it? Okay,
Yeah,
it
it
did
did
the
damage
damage
me.
to you. That's fine. Okay. Oh, concentration check. For what?
Protection from good and evil, I guess. Oh, no,
Oh,
detect evil and good.
detect good and evil.
All right.
Yeah, that was actually still up at the moment. All right, well, it
Whatever.
stays up, buddy. There you go. Okay.
I can see it. It's right there.
Is it still evil?
And it is done. Okay, Weedall, it's your turn.
I need to make that concentration check.
It does not have an ally adjacent. I'll make sure that's clear.
Yeah.
Karnan does not count.
Karnan's inside
He's
him.
inside of it.
I think Weedle is going to move back 10 feet. No, Weedle's going to move here.
Okay.
And he is going to target the big bad guy. And he's just going to switch to the crossbow.
Okay. So it's just regular shot. A 20
Yeah.
does hit.
I mean, there's nothing else I can do right now.
For 8 damage.
You could have readied an action, so if someone got adjacent to it, you could have attacked then got the sneak attack.
Nice.
Alright. I'm... Yeah, I'll just walk up to him.
Okay.
And booming blade. No. Yeah, booming blade. Okay.
22 is a hit. For a lot of damage, Jesus Christ. 20
Wow.
damage from the War Wizard.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Okay. Gamelon. It's getting the shit beat out of it.
I will approach.
Not fast enough.
Yeah, Karnan's like, I disagree.
And
Not
I
from
will,
where I'm sitting.
I will no longer target Karnan. This is the important
Yeah,
part.
good call.
I'm gonna
He's
do
got
my
enough
best to give it
He's got full
indigestion.
cover, so it would miss for sure.
I will
He
target. I will
might
target
have to
the
touch
Malekith.
himself in a really good way.
Right.
with an up-leveled inflict wound.
Ooh, okay. Here goes. Bring out the big guns.
Oh,
Well, a 25 connects. If I remember correctly, this does a lot of damage.
It's some D10s. They can be swingy.
Woo! It's a lot of dice.
Oh, that was good.
Not too bad. 30 damage. It is critically wounded. As you run up, you slap your hand to it, and this black negative light just shocks and ripples across its body. It lets out this horrible croaking shriek. You catch sight of an elven boot in there for a second before its mouth snaps shut.
Get out! All right. I'll stand here and tank. That's my turn.
Okay. Karnan, the first, you take damage. You take acid damage. Where'd it go here?
Don't worry, we can make you a new face.
There we go.
We find.
The $6 million elf.
Oh, you know what? We're just gonna do this. Go here. There it goes. Now it'll do it automatically. Doink! You take 10 more points of damage from the acid of its gullet trying to digest you. But it's your turn. You are blind. You are restrained.
Okay, so what can I do restrained?
That's yourself.
You can attack it.
I can attack it restrained?
Yeah. Yeah, you could attack it. You could like draw your short sword, especially because they're piercing weapons. You're gonna have disadvantage because you're restrained, and disadvantage because you're blind. But luckily, everything's a valid target in here, so you don't have to be super precise.
So,
But you've still got to
second question.
overcome its massively armored blubberous body. But yeah, you could absolutely pull your short swords out and start going to town.
So with a melee weapon, what would be the outcome of
You're gonna have disadvantage on your attack rolls.
a thunderous smite?
Oh.
Where if it does not make a saving, should it hit, but does not make a saving throw, it's pushed 10 feet away from me and not.
Oh.
You're
it's not-
regurgitated into the air.
Do I just go with it?
So I don't know. That's gonna be a weird one. Is there a size limit on what you can push? Because it is
It
huge.
does not say that. It says it's thunder damage.
If the target is a creature, succeed on a strength saving throw, be pushed 10 feet away from you and knocked prone. So you'll go with it. And it would be knocked prone. So I don't think it's possible it could eject you. If that's what you're going for, I will keep that in mind when I rule what happens. I can't make any guarantees though. But if it's thematic, yeah, maybe.
That's what it blows from thunderous smite is within
Just make it
itself.
look cool, man. Let's do a lot of damage and make it look cool. All right, so you're going to cast that as a bonus action?
No, I haven't. Well, it's a bonus action.
Yeah, which means you'll only get one. You'll get 2 attacks still with one of your short swords.
Yeah, I'm trying to decide whether to do that or lay my hands upon myself while within the gullet of.
That's an option too, but that is your action. You wouldn't be
You
able
can
to
get
attack.
yourself back up again, yeah.
Let's see. I'm not looking so good.
Prop up. Yeah, this guy's gonna be easy to hit.
He's huge.
I think I might rely on them to save me here. I'm going to lay on hands.
There's your first mistake.
Man.
You have done a really good job so far, except for Stefan, who
Yeah, I don't
he
know
did
what
his
happened
power
there.
shot
Yeah.
with his bonus damage
Mm.
roll, and it's like the one time you don't want to do it is that one.
So I'm going to lay
But
on
let me do
hands.
that with.
He
My
also
full
missed a
30,
straight shot on the barn
30
of
point.
blubber.
Yeah,
so.
but that shit just
Okay,
happened.
30-point heal.
Part of blubber.
Yeah. So I'll use up all my lay on hands then. Lay on hands.
You'll have 5 left. You're level 7 now. You should have 35 lay on hands if we haven't fixed it yet.
Oh no, it says 30. So
Okay.
okay. So yeah, let me do that. Use all of them. So that will leave me with 4.
There. I set it
hit
to
points.
35.
Okay, so that will leave me with 4 hit points. Is that right?
Okay. 4 wounds.
Or 4 wounds?
If you
there?
use all of it, you'll
Yeah,
have
I'm
4
sorry.
wounds left. All right, I went ahead and changed it for you.
All right. And that is my turn, right?
Okay.
So
Unless you want to move out of his gullet.
yeah,
Oh,
let me move
that's right.
35 feet
Speed
away.
is 0. Yeah. Okay, Stefan.
All
Oh,
right.
we can.
Sharpshooter. Is
You're
that
in there now, buddy. It's up to you.
doing it?
Be sure and target him,
Yes.
because you don't have him targeted. Or unless you're going to
Control
drag
click
and
him.
drop onto him. That's your call.
Just
Yeah.
control click him, Steve.
No.
Yeah, Steve drags and drops onto the token like I do.
And
That way I don't
Yeah,
have to
sure.
remember to
Crazy.
target.
What a crazy fucking thing.
Sharpshooter in general is a good idea.
oh,
Oh,
a
because
4.
how much
Oh
damage-
my lord.
Whiff!
Damn.
Just
wow.
do it again and hit this time.
That's true. If you do it twice and hit, it still pays off. The
It's-
plus 10
there's
is
much
basically like
fear
a
of
crit
Wow.
anyway.
Like using sharpshooter, you will miss more, but when you hit, it's a hit.
Oh my lord.
13 miss!
Oh, you're not helping me out here.
Oh my God,
sorry
it gets-
guys.
it's
Too
gonna
much
get
mead
another
last
turn.
night.
It's
Too
gonna get
much
another
mead.
turn!
Man. Damn it.
Okay,
Sorry guys.
so the Malakaz goes again. Well, let's see. We are gonna start with it hit with a tentacle on Gamelon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, Gamelon is grappled. So he didn't try to move, so it doesn't matter, but yeah, it grappled you.
It's automatic.
It just but it just keeps you from moving. So you're wrapped up in a tentacle right now.
Oh, Gamelon moved 5 feet closer to it. Does that
Okay.
matter?
It's got a 10-foot reach.
I don't care. Nah, it's
Doesn't
fine.
matter.
It's fine.
He could have inflicted wounds to Tentacle, I guess.
Yeah, could have touched
Yeah,
the
it's
tentacle.
my fault for forgetting. So I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, so it will
Ah.
tentacle attack. God damn it! I got to figure out what's going on. This is lagging so bad. All right, it's going to attack Nace.
Okay.
23 connects.
Reaction, Hellish Rebuke.
I walked right into that. I walked
Every
right into
time.
that.
So
like calamari
I
again.
forgot this last time, but I have this feature called
I just
Radiant
thought, you know what?
Soul.
This is an intelligent being. It knows not to move after the booming blade. And then I forgot that it's a warlock. So,
Yeah, I'm gonna add that damage this time to it too, so that'll be nice.
and it fails its saving throw. Of
Oh,
course.
that's a shame.
no.
This basic deity failed 2 saves now. Oh my god. Partially resisted. Woohoo! Thank God. All right. It takes 15 more damage from hitting you. God damn.
But
All
he
right.
also takes.
So it inflicts. Please do more than you took. I don't think it's going to. It
Oh,
does
it did.
20 though, so that's a pretty
20.
good hit.
That was a real
Um,
good hit.
Mhm.
And then you are now grappled
Yep, that's a shame.
by the tentacle. It is going to try to thwap Gamelon again, or squeeze Gamelon with the tentacle.
Is that like a thing I can resist or what?
It's an attack roll. Yeah, you're just
It's
grappled, so
It's
you
a-
can ward
an
and
attack
flare if
roll?
you want.
And he's within 10 feet of me, so.
That is true. It's not a saving throw though.
Oh, that's true. That's-
But yeah,
Uh,
you guys are feeling lucky right now next to his lucky tummy.
This guy feels nice.
All right,
Rub
are you
his
going to do
Buddha.
warding flare? That's the only real
I am
question.
not going to warning flare this.
Okay. 24 connects.
Ooh,
You
run.
can't be more grappled, so it just does the damage. And inflicts 20 more damage. And your detect good and evil
Oh no,
breaks.
I can't tell if
Yeah.
it's evil now.
Yeah.
I think it is.
Okay. But it still has a bite attack.
Yep.
It's going to it's gonna bite Nace.
I'm gonna target Nace
In
with
my
a.
belly.
Oh, it doesn't.
The thing with the stuff. It
The
was
thing
happening.
with the stuff. So it connects. This one's gonna hurt. 4. Oh!
Oh no.
33 damage. Nace is dying. Nace is also blinded and restrained, and will take 3d6 acid damage every round because Nace was swallowed whole. Karnan. Interestingly enough, Nace lands right next to you. He's not moving though. He looks pretty bad. He's bleeding like everywhere. Like you actually see it. Like as you're in the gullet, you look up at the top and you see the jaws chomp down on Nace, and it wolfs him up, and he like collides with you, and is now in a unceremonious pile next to you in the gore.
No, Nace!
No.
Okay, and Nace is inside now. So he can move with Gamelon, but would he? He needs to get in range of something else. Okay, I'm going to. Whoops. Let's see. He's going to go. So he can move half his movement. All right, so he moves 20 feet. Does Booming Blade go off? No, it's concentration, or no?
It's if it moves, it should.
How
go
long does it
off.
last? Is it in the next turn, or is it
It's that round.
You
that
must
round?
make a melee attack
like until the start of your next turn? I'll give it to you. You can roll the damage for Booming Blade then, because he moves.
until the start of my next turn.
Okay, then yeah, it's not a concentration effect, so I'll say it's still going. So you can do Booming Blade. Okay, it takes 9 damage from the Booming Blade. Whoops, let's move that over here. It drags Gamelon along with him, moving to get in range of Stefan and Weedall, with the remaining 3 tentacles flailing around. That's the end of its turn, though. Weedall, you're up.
Yeah, we're gonna base him
Okay.
and have him targeted, and we're going to attack him. God,
Okay.
the guitar is just whatever.
It's
Woo! 14 hits. That's his AC, by the way, is 14.
That was a better roll. No, it wasn't.
Woo! It wasn't,
Oh.
but it was enough.
Yes.
Give me back my friends.
Yeah.
Because you used the guitar, you run up and you slice all across the bottom of its gullet, and both Karnan and Nace spill out of this giant slit in its throat. They both spill out onto the ground. Nace is not moving. The thing gurgles and flops over backwards. It doesn't really roll over the rest of the way. It just kind of sags as its muscles stop working to hold the blob up, and it just lays there on the ground. It starts to already, the skin starts to wither and dry. Well, not dry, but like shrivel and rot, like the surface of like a greasy walnut, and kind of contract, and it just keeps making these noises as just this pile of slop is settling into the ground.
And as my reaction,
Okay?
which isn't really a reaction, it's just my next action,
Yeah.
I touch Nace with the ring and give him 10 points of hit points back.
The ring.
Yeah.
Oh, because it has Cure Light Wounds
Oh,
in
nice.
Wake up, buddy, wake
Very
up.
nice.
I'm
That
pulling
is
on his
good.
chest with.
it. That's really nice
No,
because I was going to say Nace still had 1 round of ongoing acid damage to take.
Well, I
So-
had acid plus if I
Right,
failed to save,
plus the death
I could have
save, yeah.
insta-died.
Yeah, you
could
could
have
have
been
died.
insta-death.
How would you? Only if you got a 1.
Yeah, but there's a
But you
chance.
could have. Yeah, you could have failed 2 death saves right away there. Okay. Well, with the healing, he definitely will be okay.
What are the odds the dude crits me there to take me down in 1 round?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he wouldn't crit you. The acid damage is just damage. There's no attack.
No, I'm saying the round he took me
Yeah,
down.
when he
What are the
did.
odds
Oh,
he
yeah.
rolls a crit there to take me down? Because I
Oh,
think he
yeah,
would need
yeah.
a crit to do
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did. It's pretty nasty, but yeah, 6d10 doesn't feel great. So,
Oh yeah, no, that was rough. I mean,
all right. Okay, we're gonna stop there with the Malakaz down.
it's okay. I totally have a backup character ready to go.
Yeah, I know you already
His
told
name
me.
is Malakaz.
Yeah. No, his name is Eason, and
Eason. Have
he
you guys,
was
have you guys heard of my father?
Eason.
It's
He died
pronounced
horribly.
Ekin.
yeah, it's Ekin. He was an aristocrat who hates peasants, and all the women in his family hear voices.
His father died randomly
All
while
right.
adventuring. He's
Sorry,
occupying-
ran late.
No,
I
his
just
mother-
thought you
his
guys would
mother
wanna
died.
Finish that one. I'm going to go ahead and stop it here, though. We'll get back together next week to proceed after defeating the Malakaz and see if you guys ever make it across the swamp.
Hey, we were
Um,
trying.
So go up on YouTube. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.